Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to whatever session of the Devouring this is, because I haven't been naming them this time, because we've been using a different program. So, that's cool. So, this time, or last time, everyone returned to the camp, finally. We managed to get through some things. And I finally got to the point where it was the day after your month of rest. However, your characters aren't aware that that mechanic was in place and are still at the camp, not really doing anything. So that's fine. However, we ended last time with a scream as everybody was in the newly built tavern. They were supporting Lily in her tavern expansion to the camp. Whether or not they agreed to actually participate in the moneyed interests, the party was going ahead and everybody was invited regardless. Therefore, everyone was there and they heard a scream. However, we're going to go back in time. I know you guys always deal with that flawlessly. But we're going back in time. Because Edo-san wanted to go to the Lehman, and so did somebody else, maybe Howler? I don't remember.
No.
I don't remember. I think somebody did. Either way, so whoever that was, if you guys remember, you can do that. However, that is what's happening first. So, I do know that Edo-san wanted to go there.
Yes.
Sorry, what did you say, Ben?
You can probably go first, I guess.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. You're going there. So what did you want to do there? At this point, they have finished building their monastery, which is just a stereotypical looking, it's kind of like a raised platform on wooden supports that has a staircase in front of it. It's kind of oriental looking, but they built it themselves, so you can commend them on their workmanship if you wish. But
if I recall correctly, he was here on his mother's behalf because she wanted to know how they could be separate from the main camp but still be in the camp.
Yes. So basically what she was trying to do was they have a special arrangement. Basically she's asking for asylum, if you are familiar with that concept. She's trying to hide in there, and since they have a special arrangement with everybody else, then perhaps they can fall under that flag as part of them by default. So, you're going there to figure out if that's possible, what terms might be required, that sort of thing. That's what she wanted you to figure out.
Yes, so that's why I'm also going there.
Alright, so you're standing in front of the monastery. You see a couple of the monkey-like Lehman just sort of crouched on top of one of the parts of this pagoda-like temple that they've built. It's just sort of crouching on the top of the peaked roof, just sort of watching you.
Yeah, Elsa just waves and goes, anyone knows who the leader is?
He points to the door below, to the entrance of the pagoda-like building.
So Elsa walks up to the door and he knocks, I guess, yeah.
Alright, you see one of the taller, skinnier Lehman. He's got long, elongated limbs, kind of like what a monkey-like creature might have. And his tail sort of just whips around the entrance as he cracks open the door and he looks through. His tail is also like just sort of waving gently as he's watching you. His big eyes with the yellowish color in them, reflecting the light very clearly.
So Erza just raises his head and says, "Hello, do you happen to be the leader of your people? I guess, I don't know."
He motions for you to enter. Perhaps you are here to see Lugus?
I guess so, yes. I mean, this is the first time I'm coming here.
He nods, and he motions for you to come in.
So Erza just walks in and follows him in.
Alright. He just sort of motions for you to continue walking. It's sort of like an oriental style open room. It's a large room, but there's like multiple like screen sliding doors sort of. They're separating different sections of this room. Kind of like the oriental cloth or paper doors. And there's a large open area, and there is a leman in the middle of this courtyard type area that has there's like a little cutout square in the middle of this room, and you can see him just sort of sitting cross-legged in the light that is shining into this room.
So
And he's motioning for you to go that way.
Erza just walks up to him and not sure if he should just address him yes or no, so he just say, I guess you're Lugus?
He nods towards you. I'm not sure if you've seen this character before, but if you haven't, he's just he's a gnome-sized looking person, perhaps, with monkey-like features. And he has big, dark eyes on the front of his slightly deformed-looking monkey-like face. He's got sparse fur and hair, elongated fingers with large bumps on them, and he's just sort of looking at you as he's sitting there cross-legged.
So I guess you heard about the new refugees already, I am assuming?
I do have my eyes and ears, so yes.
Well, my mother slash the leader of that group said, well, I have to still do things and such to make sure that they're okay and all that. I was curious what kind of arrangement you had with Howler to be like separate from the camp.
Well, I didn't give him a choice. Either he agreed for us to remain here without participating in his system, or not have us around to help protect. That was his choice. He chose to allow us to help protect as long as we contributed, which is what we're doing by protecting.
Well, yeah, we had the idea by contributing, helping them do things like getting water, hunting, gathering food, but we keep just a tiny percentage of it, like, say, 1/10 of it all, and they can keep the rest.
That's deception.
Might be hard at the beginning, but yes,
1/10?
he doesn't seem to be willing to agree with that.
1/10?
Yeah, we keep 1/10 and you keep the rest.
I mean, if that's your terms, I'm not gonna argue, but that's not what we...
Yeah, that's not what they spoke about, but that's fine. The exact figure is fine. It's fine that you're not sure what the exact figure is, but that's alright. He goes, So why are you here then, if you've already made an agreement?
Well, we didn't. My mother was just curious to see how your agreement with him was. That's all.
Well, as I just explained, we remain as long as we do our part in protecting the camp.
Well,
Otherwise, they don't bother us.
Well, I'll surely bring that to her then.
Alright. Did you have any particular reason for asking about this?
Well, as we are not completely agreeing with their idea of how already starting society so soon, well, there's still quite a lot of trouble to be dealt with.
So you're saying your interests ally with ours?
You could say that we're just saying that he should wait with restarting society until it's completely safe to do so, because now is not the most, well, opportune time to say it's awfully.
Alright. So you just wanted to ask what special privileges we get?
Yeah, that's basically what I was here for.
Alright.
Well, I guess I got what I wanted then.
He nods.
So I thought just heads off then again to bring over the info.
Alright. So was there someone else who wanted to see the Lehman for any reason? Because I remember that being a thing.
Yeah, but it was basically to see if we could get any alcohol from the grand opening.
Oh, right. Okay. So we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so you go back to your family.
I basically explain what I was told. So
Alright,
they
and she says...
kind of have a special agreement, but not completely at the same time.
She says... Well, I thought that you were asking to see if we could get asylum. Not just what their deal was.
Well, if that were to be so, then we actually do, I assume, help them also with protecting the city just like them. But I don't think that would be completely agreeable with some of the parties of the city. At least I think.
Let us go together.
Yeah.
And she walks with you as you go back.
Yeah.
So we'll just get you back in that room. Just so that way you don't have to roleplay knocking on the door again.
Yeah.
So you're in that room with him, and this time you have her with you.
Well, this is.
And he's waiting for you to speak.
Yeah, so you go. Well, this was the person I was talking about before.
He opens one eye, and he just sort of looks over at her. He says, So the stronger one of the stronger of the group.
Well, stronger is real dependent, but yeah, she's real talented with the sword, so to say.
And she goes, So can we join your group? And he goes, Well, you could. Depends on what you mean by join us. And she goes, We wish to seek asylum within your monastery. And he goes, Well, perhaps. What will you give us in exchange? And she goes, Well, we are willing to give you 50% of what we collect. And he goes, That seems to conflict with what he just... And she goes, Yes, it does.
Was
However, if we remain within these walls, I have a feeling that our agreement with the rest of this encampment will not matter, because they do not want to antagonize you for some reason. And he goes, Very shrewd. And she goes, I don't care. They're very force-filled with their will, and I don't like it. Therefore, I wish to undermine it as much as possible. And he goes, well, you have our assignment. And she leaves to go and get the rest of the group.
So I want to make sure I understand something. So the part of the group has agreed to join the camp, but now none of them are? Like, I'm trying to track this.
Yes.
It seemed like at the
Here's
end, the
what
only
happened.
people that were against
Here's what
us
happened.
was his mom and dad.
Yes, here's what happened. The two leaders of that group convinced the rest of them that it wasn't in their best interest to ally with you guys. I don't know if you missed that part last time or what, or not, but they basically convinced them that that wasn't a good idea. So after they left that room, then there was a bunch of talking within the group, and they convinced even the Manti not to join your guys or trust you at face value. Therefore, all that group is now going to go into this monastery.
Okay.
Alright. So,
and how many of the Lehman are there?
Approximately 25.
Okay.
Alright. So that happens. She brings in the rest of the group, and they remain within the building for now.
Well, I hope you guys will have the best. I will be trying to keep things calm and not trying to make more progress. I'll just be doing stuff with DT then.
They nod, and as you begin to leave, unless if you had anything else you wanted to do in there?
No, not to my recollection.
Alright. As you're leaving, you walk down the stairs and begin walking back to where you left DT. And, someone approaches you and says, I'm not sure if I'm familiar with you or not. You don't look familiar. However, you are being invited to come to that building, and he points towards the tavern, for the grand opening.
No, they actually did go through with it. Okay, then.
And he whispers to you, Lily would wish to see you there.
Yeah, I know.
And he walks away and starts going towards someone else.
Yeah, as a fish. Well, heads to it then.
Alright, so as he is walking away and towards the tavern, Howler, you witness him get spoken to by that guy, and that guy walks away, and then Edo-san begins walking towards the tavern. So you are headed towards the Lehman.
Yeah, so we don't have to make a big deal out of it, but I was there to request boots, as it's most likely the product of our farms, because I'm assuming they need wheat and stuff.
Okay, so you start walking towards there. I'm just gonna make a slightly big deal out of this, just because something happened that your character might care about. So you walk up towards the entrance of their newly built monastery. It's just got finished maybe a day or two ago. And you walk up towards the door.
Yeah.
Do you just let yourself in, or do you knock?
I will knock.
Alright. Same skinnier Lehman just sort of walks towards the door, his bright yellow eyes reflecting off the light. And he says, "What do you wish?"
I'm here to see Lugus.
He says, "One moment." He closes the door, and you hear them walking around inside, and you hear someone coming towards the door, and you see it open, and you see the shorter, slightly shorter than you, Lugus, looking up at you. And he says, "What is it that you needed?"
I have a request for you. Some of your ale for the grand opening. I don't know, did you put a name on the tavern yet? Lily pad or
Yeah,
official?
the Lily's pad. You saw the sign as you were walking past.
Yeah. So that's what I say.
And he goes, "It's curious how we haven't been invited, but as to maintain relations, we will offer you some. How much do you need?"
Well, I make an estimate about how much I think they have. As much as I think they will give me, basically.
Okay.
I need to make a check for that. So.
Go ahead. Make an insight check if you want to check to see how much he will give you. If you want to check to see how much you need, it will be a history check to see if you remember how many people.
Do both?
You can do both if you want to find out both. Alright?
Yeah, I don't know.
You weren't sure how many people, and you're not sure how much he is willing to give you regardless of how many people.
Yes.
However, you do know that Lugus has expressed an interest in making vats, and whether or not he made those within the monastery is a thing that you haven't found out. So he has he will, if he has his own way, he would have made vats worth.
Yeah. So I will just tell him, well, we'll take as much as you can spare. It's a grand opening.
He
And I'm
sort of
assuming
looks
you're
off
still...
to the... Yeah, he sort of looks off to the side, and he goes, "Can we spare 3 barrels?" And you hear a voice go, "Perhaps." And he goes, "Alright, 3 barrels. We're not sure how aged it is, but we did our best."
Very well.
And it's not, they don't have hops, so they don't have, I'm pretty sure ale is made from hops, if I remember correctly.
Didn't we get like some sort of
Something
compound
else.
starting?
Yeah, you have wheat, which,
Did we make something out of that?
wheat
You can
makes,
make beers and stuff.
yeah, wheat makes beers. So, that's all that they have access to at the moment, so that's all that they can make. So,
That's fine.
they give you 3, you see between the crack of the door, which is now I'm gonna get you to roll. Because there is something happening behind the door that they're trying to prevent you from seeing. But you can attempt to make a perception check to see if you can see it. But,
Okay, so it's only as they're trying to hide something from me, or?
with your insight check, you didn't get that, unfortunately. I would have
Okay,
given it
that's
to
fine.
you if you would have rolled high enough insight, but unfortunately, you don't catch that they're trying to hide something from you, but the door is open enough that you can see something, so you can be looking at. Okay. As this other Lehman is rolling up the barrels toward the door, unfortunately, he had to open, well, from his perspective, he had to open the door a little bit more than he wanted to. And you see what looks like a manti, which, whether or not your character's 100% familiar with what those are, is up to you. Just sort of walking around inside there. And then you see what looks like a human, maybe, just sort of walking around in there. And then after that, they push out the last barrel and close the door more. And he says, "There."
I kind of just look at that door, like, it's obvious that I saw it. And I will look at the barrels after.
Okay.
And, yeah, I will,
He asks if you need anything else.
yeah, no, I think this will be fine. Perhaps if someone can help carry them, but, other than that...
He makes like a hand gesture, and a couple of Leemen walk over, 2 to be specific. They expect you to carry the other one.
I will accept it for now, because I can just shout for carry help, so that's fine. But yeah, I will just look towards this Lagas, and I will just, with a straight face, remind him, but you know, our mayor decisions are regarding this temple is still left to the council. Do not forget that. And I'll take the barrel and leave.
Okay. He makes a slightly disapproving face, however, he closes the door. He's going to leave it for now. Alright.
Yeah, I mean...
So, you manage to get back to the raucous partying that is happening. So we'll switch back to that where everyone else is. So the other 2, which currently is Lily, is going around greeting everybody, making sure that everybody is at least comfortable within the confines of this area. But as for Lucius and Explo, you both have been invited and you decided to come to, whether or not it's for appearances or whether or not you actually want to be at this party. You're here to, as a show of power or what have you. You are at this party.
All of the above.
However, the only 2 current members of your party who are currently not in the
Council.
Well, I was gonna say that are
in
not
the
in the tavern currently are Howler, which Howler would have let Lucius know that he was going to get more appropriate refreshments.
Yeah, also, because I have a barrel of beef jerky and it's pretty much empty, I'm just going to take that out and put my barrel inside of the one with the ale. So I'll bring back 2 barrels to the tavern.
Should we put out my beef jerky?
Yeah, no,
Like
I don't have that. I still had some normal left, like, let's see, I had 9 food rations left, normal. So I assume I had 100 rations of ale now to bear.
You have 100 standard size steins full.
Yes.
So you could drink 1 per
That's
day
always-
if that's how you want to look at it, but you have 100 standard size steins worth.
Just important to keep track of, you know. Hoarding.
Yeah. So they're standard size steins, remember. If you have smaller steins for someone, say, of your stature, it might be more. If it's someone of, say, a Goliath stature that has a bigger stein, it might be slightly less. Just letting you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
So those 2 currently aren't at the goings-on yet. So it's Explo. I'm going to say that at this point in the party, for whatever reason, Explo and Lucius are sitting at the same table. Currently, all they have for refreshments is fruit juice and slightly fermented fruit juice. That's what they have.
This sucks.
So, you guys are sitting at this table, so go ahead.
I really hope Howler gets here back with some real booze.
This sucks. And I tell Lucius that, can I look around the tavern to see how many of the important population is currently here, like approximately?
By important population, what do you mean?
Like, how many of the people in the whole town that we're trying to build is currently here?
All right.
Kind of.
It's not a gigantic building, but there are some people congregating outside the building as well. Approximately half of the population, the ones that would be awake during this time.
Well, Lucius and Howler were kind of... what's it called? They promised me that I would be able to break into some banks and steal some grub or whatever for our bank. And I tell Lucius this would be the perfect time to strike because almost half of the city is currently at this tavern.
What do you... I'm gonna lean closer. What bank do you want to rob?
I don't know. You guys...
I'll assume that you guys are speaking in thieves' camp.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, when you asked me to join the safety deposit thingy, Majigga,
The bank, yes. New World Bank.
yeah, our bank, you told me that one of my quests or something like that. One of my jobs were to steal the rest of the shit in this town to put in our bank.
No. What's currently out is what we have put out. So that's why we need to rob other banks in other like dead cities, so we can get that wealth to bring here, so that we can expand this one.
Oh.
And then I'm gonna kind of like look around again, and then like lean forward a little bit more and drop my voice just a little bit more. We're already robbing.
You mean you're gonna drop you're gonna drop your hand gestures a little bit more? Is that it?
Sure. And just kind of like we're already like robbing them. Like we give them the money and then take it from them. We're just doing it as governments used to do it, through tax.
Yeah, so basically what he's saying is...
Someone just slagged out.
Yeah, basically what he's saying is they're trying to put in place a government in this area, so that way they can be the corrupt government and take their stuff.
Bingo.
You mean the right kind of government.
Exactly.
At least for the guys at the top.
Exactly. That's why we're trying to put ourselves at the top, and anybody who threatens that, go.
Expo still looks super disappointed.
Hey, buddy, we're gonna get out there though. Okay, we should be getting out there in the next few days, and we'll find you a bank so you can rob the shit out of it.
Okay. Do we have something stronger than this? And I just pull up my glass of fucking barely fermented fucking fruit juice.
Hopefully, Howler will be here very soon with liquor from.
Doesn't anybody in this town know how to make fucking Heimbrand?
You can tell your tastes are finely attuned to alcohol, I'll say. You can tell that there is some, it's just a very low percentage.
Exactly.
Wine
Heimbrand!
spritzers, bro. It's a wine spritzer.
Alright, and it's as you're shouting this, Explo, you see Edo-san enter the tavern.
Now, we
With
have
a bunch
no
of barrels?
idea that the one group has taken up with the lemurs yet, right?
Yeah, you guys don't know this information yet. Because you've been hanging
So
out in this tavern for a little bit.
Okay.
Just to
None of
verify,
us, like guard or anything, seeing them move into their area, haven't come to report anything?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
I'm not the only one looking at Timothy's picture just turning into pixels.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's a common
go
thing
pixel
now.
Again?
No. You're gonna turn it off and on again, and it's gonna work for like 2 seconds, and you're gonna turn into more pickles, buddy. Pickles, not
That's what I like.
pixels, not pickles.
Pickles. No, I like it.
Pixels!
Pickle Rick!
Pickles in.
Pickle Rick!
I love Pickle Rick.
Look here, Lucius! I turned myself into a pickle!
You shouldn't do that. That's gonna end really badly.
Although, just so that way we can get slightly back on track here. Ado-san, you have walked into the tavern, and it's relatively lively. However, there are some people who are kind of disappointed in the refreshments, but they're making do with what they've got for the moment.
So I'm just looking for anyone that I recognize, but especially looking for Lily.
Okay, make a perception check, because you're just sort of looking over the crowd to see who you see.
Perception. That's 15.
All right, that's high enough. You see both Lily, but she's sort of doing hostess duty, so she's talking to everyone in here because it's named after her. So they're going to want to ask her some questions, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a slightly large crowd gathering around her. However, there is also Lucius and Explo just sort of sitting at a table, looking not very enthusiastic, is the best way to put it. So you can join either one, you can head in either direction, it's up to you.
I will also have my Etten
Yeah.
servant in the corner.
Etten.
Yeah, so he's in the shadowy part of the tavern. So you didn't roll high enough to see him because he's slightly hidden in the corner.
Yeah, like the shadow part of the pub. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to get shanked yet.
So yeah, you do see Lily, and you do see the other two just sort of. They're sitting in front of. It's like if the only thing that was being served was like tomato juice. They're just sort of like not very happy, but they're there.
Bloody Marys without the Marys.
I just walk up and then take a chair and go to be like, so how are Mr. Bank and Bank do I know?
Fuck you, High Elf! I mean, we're doing fine.
Do I know about the bank actually?
Well,
Probably
their
not.
council, I don't know. Was it in the contract? That's the biggest question.
Yes.
If the bank was in the contract, then you read about it in the contract. So then you would know about it.
Sure, the bank wasn't in a contract. Howler!
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just that they will follow the council, and the council follows like basically the structure or the government we're trying to do is this capitalistic, well, kind of communist.
So yes, I would know about the bank because obviously you should be there.
I'm
It's
just gonna take a stab in the dark here. It's like as if the Federal Reserve was running a country. Is that what you're trying to do?
What do you mean? Like if the Federal Reserve?
The Federal Reserve is where they keep a bunch of money.
Oh yeah, it would be
Fort
like
Knox
that.
and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
again,
they have a
it's
bunch of
also
gold there, that sort of thing.
But then again, the Federal Reserve is then organized or ruled by the council member of that Federal Reserve, which is the four of us.
Okay. Yes. So basically, there's a certain section of the council that have special titles referring to this Federal Reserve type bank. So yeah, you would have seen that in the minutia of what was written, unfortunately.
So I'll pull the chair up to them and say, so how are Mr. Bank and Bank doing? And now to sort of blurt out of fuck you, High Elf.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, every man his own taste, I guess.
Okay.
And for you,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not drunk enough to like you yet.
Well,
This crap sucks, and he just holds up his glass of pickle juice or whatever?
It's
Well,
it's a yellowish orange. It's kind of like if you were looking at orange juice. However, it is slightly reddish and yellowish comparative to orange. And it tastes kind of like mango. So, you can take from that what you will.
I ask if anybody on the table has a deck of cards.
well, if you say,
There are
fuck you,
currently no one.
half,
There's currently no one else except Edo-san and Lucius sitting at this table.
and what was...
Where did Lucius go?
I said
What was
Lucius
Explo
and
again? A gnome or a halfling? I keep mixing it up.
yeah, Explo is a gnome.
A gnome.
Yeah.
Well, if you say fuck you, half of, what about you, you beardless dwarf?
You beardless or beard ass?
Beardless.
Beardless dwarf.
Yeah, that's what he calls you. You can take that as you will. That's not an official slur.
Yeah.
I can't go further because I've been reading up on some stuff.
I'm not gonna even know what he's saying because the Durgards that used me as a slave when I was young kind of called me worse things than that.
Yes.
And I'm gonna ask again around the table, does anybody have a deck of cards? So we can actually do something about this night.
Do I actually? Did Aaron ever pick up a deck of cards? No, I didn't pick up a deck of cards.
Yeah, if you don't have it in your inventory at this point, then you don't have it.
Well, I can make you a deck of cards if you like that.
Is Lucius still at the table?
Yes.
Yes. Sorry,
Yes.
I had it.
Can't you
I thought it was
conjure up a deck
loud
of cards? Yo.
Yes, I do. Prestidigitation.
And there we go.
The limb
Oh.
disappears. But yeah.
Yeah, there's
No,
a
I can
slight
keep it, I
problem with that.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm
Actually
gonna
not.
say. Here's what I'm gonna say. The cards will remain as long as he uses his action every turn to apparate it.
What?
So as
Yeah.
long as he's using his action to use prestidigitation each turn, then yes, he can keep the cards there.
That's
However,
a good
if
There's
he gets
still a
distracted,
problem.
Prestidigitation.
if he gets distracted and has to do something else, then the cards will vanish.
There's
So
still a
can't he just
problem.
change whatever
What
card
if-
he gets?
The card can't leave his hand.
Yes, they can.
Yes, they can. You
Hey.
make a minor. You can make a minor like. You can make. Trying to pull up the spell.
If the spell says that it remains for a certain amount of time, then that's what it does. But I'm ruling
It's an
it
hour.
that if he can use the spell and make it appear for 6 seconds, then as long as he keeps using the spell, I'll say that it remains there.
Well, that's fine. I'm just thinking about how he can totally cheat, because if he uses his action, he can just change what the cards say. Still magic.
That is true. He can do that.
Which is why I'm thinking, what if me and Gio go together and we use our Tinker tools and just make a deck of cards together?
Yeah, that's what I was suggesting.
That
Or you
is
can-
possible. However, you need to choose what material you're going to make them out of, first of all.
We can wait 2 minutes, because I literally have a deck of cards on me.
You're too far away!
I'm going to let this play out before you get there, because you were there for a
That's fine.
minute or two.
Any old matter.
Okay, let's look at prestidigitation first. Sensory effect, that's not it. Light or snuff out a candle, that's not it either. Clean soil or okay, that
Yeah, he
doesn't
has
matter.
to be continuously casting it.
Yeah. You can create a non-magical trinket or an illusory image that can fit in your hand, and that lasts until the end of your next turn. So, yes, you can create it as long as you keep casting prestidigitation each turn.
Yeah, I don't got a problem doing that.
Okay.
So you create a deck of
Play.
cards?
Yeah. I literally just magic a deck cards in my hand. I'm like, so you boys want to play?
I take the deck of
Just-
cards if you give it
Just
to
for
me.
mechanics' sake, just so that way it's clear, you can use your bonus action to do whatever you need to do with the cards.
Right.
Just
Okay.
so that way you're aware.
Do you give me the deck of cards?
I will shuffle the cards and then put them in front of you.
Technically, you could
Mhm.
magically like make them flip around and all kinds of neat stuff because they're magical items.
No. The shuffle is super nice and fancy. Like the long, like a whole bunch of stuff, and then like I'll hand the cards to him.
Do a performance check.
That's
I
up
mean,
to
the
you.
magical, he will succeed automatically.
Okay. So I take the deck of
Yeah,
cards
Not persuade
and I start shuffling them some more.
I persuade you that it was a very good one.
I believe you.
I got a 6.
Yeah, still good
So
enough.
he did require that persuasion.
Okay, no, I did horrible, and I'm like, no, I did good, and you were like,
Yeah, I
oh.
did good. This is how the dudes at Las Vegas does it.
Yeah, I was just about to say, how many casinos has Explo been in? Because there are a few within the world.
Not within opening hours, if that makes any sense.
Okay, fair enough. So then you can't tell the difference between good shuffling and bad shuffling.
Not within opening hours, just casually.
Which is actually kind of hard. Casinos are open all the time.
Would that have actually been a sleight of hand?
I have my ways.
Sleight of hand is more if you want to hide what you're doing. If you're trying to be showy, then it is performance, unfortunately.
Okay.
Okay. So I can grab the deck of cards then.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he created
Yeah,
a
just see me-
physical object.
Okay. So I start shuffling them a little bit, and I say, "Gentlemen, the name of the game is called Slapjack."
And as soon as you say that, a couple other people who were doing other things in the room just sort of stop what they were doing and approach the table.
Wait,
So you're more-
Slapjack?
We have more players for the Slapjack game then.
Well,
No,
it's-
seriously, what the hell is Slapjack?
You don't know what Slapjack is?
No, I know Blackjack, but not Slapjack.
Slapjack!
Ladies and gentlemen, to keep things fair, I will remove myself from the game, since I do need to continually cast to keep the cards.
okay.
And I'll
So if you don't
step
want to
up from the
participate,
table.
if you don't want to
Okay.
participate,
Oh, no,
then
I'm
you can
gonna
just
observe.
focus on casting the spell. I was going to say
Actually,
that if
I'm
you
gonna
did...
take.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna take the deck back from Explo and shuffle and I will be acting as dealer to all
Well,
of you.
that's
And
kind of
again
the
with my
problem.
hand-
There is no dealers in Slapjack.
None at all.
Well, kinda. You deal the whole deck of cards out to each player, and then it goes around with each player just holding the deck of cards. They can't see what they're pulling out at the table, and they just pull the card on the table. And if the next guy has equal the if I put a 2 on it, and then Geo puts a 4, I have to slap the table and then slap him, or he can slap the table and slap me. Slapjack. And if there's a jack on the table, if somebody pulls out a jack, then the first person to slap the table can slap whoever he wants. And it goes around and around and around.
This sounds like
Slapjack.
a horrible game.
It is, but it's
However-
fun when you're drunk.
However, there are a few people who are willing to stake who gets slapped most. So,
So who's up to playing?
Yeah.
Gia
and there
or
are a couple other people
for
who are
God's
just
sake.
willing to
You
place
two?
bets.
Well, I got Explo and Odyson right now playing. Who else wants to?
Should
Is there any
There's
other
a,
takers?
Don't
there's a
see
couple
how
other people.
many
I'll say there's 4 other miscellaneous raced people.
so let me ask this, Explo, how long do you think you can keep going?
How long can I keep going before I fall on the floor unconscious?
Yeah.
I used to play this as a kid. So
Well,
a pretty fucking damn long
As you
time.
said before, since you were a slave, then you should be pretty used to getting slapped.
Exactly.
Oh, damn. Alright, so this is how we're going to play, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I will deal out, and I will take your bets.
Alright,
And then
there
I
are
will deal
three, or four, I already said four. Four other
Yeah, so
miscellaneous
six.
people. So,
So 6 people at the table. I'll deal out all the cards, and then I will take bets.
alright. So, one of the people is kind of scrawny looking human. He gets very few bets, but he gets some. A total of 1 gold. There's a slightly burlier looking half-elf type. He gets quite a few. He gets approximately 3 gold. The other 2 get no bets whatsoever. However, both Erosan and Explo get, I'll say, 10 gold each.
Okay?
Alright, so as this is happening, Howler walks in the door with his 2 companions who are carrying kegs.
Okay.
Let me see this.
To put a keg on
I'll
their
be right
table.
back.
And
Alright,
the other
so
one
as
goes to the
you're
bar.
about to start playing, you see a keg just slammed onto the table.
And the other one goes behind the bar counter
Okay.
for a minute.
On our table?
Yes, on your guys'
A
table.
keg on our table.
Yeah.
Is the keg able to be opened up from the top? Or is it like a little tap?
This is literally just a barrel. So it's one of the
It's a
ones that you
barrel.
have to screw a tap into.
Okay. We need to get that
Okay.
behind the bar.
Yeah, okay. I will take it behind bar too.
I run over to the bar and get a tap that you can screw into it.
Alright, they do it. They do it for you.
I start screwing the barrel.
Okay.
You sounded way too happy about that.
There were multiple contexts in which that phrase can be used, and I'm going to be charitable and assume that you were just putting the tap in.
Yes.
He's screwing it in.
In a
He's
very,
making that hole
very
wider.
sensual way.
So you put
That's a gritty tap.
the tap literally, like, you have to turn it upside down and keep turning it until it gets all the way in. And they make sure that you're doing it properly. And the tap faces down when you fully get it in. And then you can simply just turn the tap on the top and it will pour some of the liquid within.
I just lay myself on a table with my mouth open and just open the fucking tap.
Alright? After approximately 3 or 4 seconds, then other people start getting impatient and they turn off the tap and wait until you move out of the way.
Can I at least fill a glass or something before I leave?
Okay, as they see you get up from the table, they'll let you fill a glass, and then once it's full, they'll turn it off and wait for you to leave, so that way they can actually have some. And it
blissful ingress.
I've been
is
waiting
beer.
for beer.
It is beer. However, I'm gonna get whoever drinks it to make a Constitution saving throw for their first try. So since you just poured it all over your face...
Ooh, that's bad. It's an 8.
No, wait. Oh, wait, that's...
I got a 19.
Yeah, that's for someone else. Sorry, I thought that was yours. Okay.
Nope.
For Explo, tastes slightly off. Because usually they use, honey.
Yeast.
Honey is another major ingredient. And yes, honey, they are using something else, and it slightly burns in your mouth. However, that isn't something that you're used to in a non-hard liquor. So you notice it. However, you didn't roll low enough to vomit, so you're fine. And Lucius, I'll get you to make a nature check since you rolled high enough. You might be able to pick out what this is.
It's a taste of human flesh.
Oh, you roll super well. You remember how people have been complaining of like wasp stuff, and you actually interacted with the wasps for a while?
Mm-hmm.
This is actually what they would feed their larvae. So, it's an equivalent of honey, it's just not honey. It's giant wasp stuff. Whatever they
We
would
don't
make.
have any bees or anything in the forest?
None that they've been able to reliably find, is what I'll say.
Okay.
They may have found like maybe one nest, but once you harvest the one nest, then it's kind of hard.
Well, no. The best thing to do is you go in and you take the queen, and then you set them up in your own.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't have that set up yet, for sure.
You need to work on that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like kind of swish the like contents around in the mug, looking down at it. We'll look over at Explo, Howler, back at it, and then Thieves can't just say, "I hope you like your wasp, honey," and then take another little swill.
It's not bad tasting. It's just slightly more spicy, if you will.
Is it more potent?
No. It just tastes different. It's not as sweet. It's more spicy, as I described.
Okay. So like they dump some curry in this instead of honey.
Yes, basically.
Fun.
But it does
It's
do
Indian
the
beer.
trick.
So Howler, we're about to play a game called Slapjack. Have you ever heard of Slapjack before?
Well, I've played a lot of card games. I'm proficient in them, so I would assume so.
Yes, if you're proficient in card games, if it says card games or something similar, then yes, you would know what this means. Because you're familiar with gambling, because you're from a thieves' den, so it would make sense.
It's the game you play when you're broke and you start slapping each other instead.
Yes, Explo would like to play. So far we have 6 contestants. Explo, Autosan, and these 4 kind people. We've collected bets. Autosan and Explo each have 10 gold on them. This fine half-elf has 3, and this wiry guy has 1. These 2, I'm hoping after a round or 2 we can get them at least a few silver.
They're basically betting on who gets slapped most.
Well, no, I'm gonna have multiple bets. So we're gonna have who gets slapped the most, who makes the most like wimpiest sound when they do get slapped, who can take the slap the best, and who seems to slap the hardest.
Okay, so I'll say that those other games are also being run. However, I'm not going to keep track of that amount, so I'm going to say that it works out.
Just give me a total at the end so that I know how much I skimmed off these people.
Okay. If you want to skim some off the top, I'll give you an amount.
Well, no, I'm also going to rig the game so that we end up winning.
You can try. Whether or not you'll succeed is a different story.
I will say this, I literally make the bet, and according to the game rules, as long as I can keep track of the cards that have been played, I can have whatever card I want appearing in their hands as they're about to draw.
Okay. Sure. You can I'll say that it's a slightly more fast-paced game that they're going to be playing, so keeping track of that is what you're going to have to roll for. Just so that way you don't
20
make
intelligence, so...
Yes, it's just so that way you don't make it obvious that there's cheating going on.
Oh, no. It's going to be a last-ditch effort. I'm hoping that the wiry dude, like, seems to do well, and then everybody starts to pile their money on him, and then I'm going to have Explo take it.
Okay. Howler, do you wish to participate?
No, I don't like getting slapped, so I think I would pass.
Okay.
That's why I also jumped out of the game. I was like, I'll just be the dealer and bet taker.
Pussers!
Help with the bet taking, Howler.
Yeah, I can arrange that. Or we can set up a Texas Hold'em here if anyone's interested.
Do that. Set up another game. Let's get
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
something
is
about
an
poker game.
in-game equivalent, but I'll let you just slide with Texas Hold'em because Texas is technically not a place that exists. So,
Dwarven
Some
Dwarven
kind of
Hold-
Hold'em in this world.
Dwarven Hold. It's called Dwarven Hold'em.
yeah, Dwarven will work. But I'll let it slide for now that you called it Texas Hold'em. Just because Texas doesn't exist. So that's fine. Okay.
You sure there's not somebody cowboy somewhere being all like, I am the Ranger. Texas.
Yeah, we just call it Cowboy Hold'em.
You could do that if you want, but that's up to you.
Artificer Hold'em.
So many types of Hold'em.
Yeah, in either case, I'm gonna play that and I'm just gonna cheat the hell out of it.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. That's a different group. But this group we're gonna deal with first, just to be fair.
That's fine.
So, alright. There are a bunch of people who are stepping up, making bets, but it equivalates out to what I said. And let's go ahead. So, the first.
Can I get a resistance against slapping because I got whipped as a kid?
I'll say that you have advantage because you were the one who brought up the game, so you've obviously played it before. I'll say that you have advantage. Everybody else is on their own.
Newbies.
Okay, so
Fresh meat.
the first two people who are going to go are Explo and Edo-san, of course, because they're sitting next to each other. So I'll get you two to roll up. Do you guys have access to a random card puller?
Yes, I have
we can
access
do
to
that.
random dice roller.
Oh, you can do
Random
that
dice
too.
roller or
Yeah,
random?
you can roll dice. You can roll dice if you want. But it's technically a 52 card deck, so roll D52s.
D52s.
Oh yeah, that's also here available here on Roll20.
Is there a card one? Or are you just talking about a random dice roller?
Yeah,
Oh, there is a card.
1D52.
There is a card.
Ta-da!
Yep. There is a card roller.
Did I do it right or did I do it wrong?
You get slapped.
Yeah, I got slapped.
Yeah, what I'm gonna say is the value, the number that you get, the lower it is, the worse cards you get,
But
and the higher
then
it is, the better cards you get.
But then again, you get slapped because I have advantage.
Oh, you. Well, depends.
No. What I was referring to advantage was you have advantage against getting hurt and like whimpering.
Okay.
So when he hits you, you have advantage against that.
Okay.
Okay. Well, does he slap Explo or does he slap the table?
Table.
You have to. Well, according to the rules, you have to bang the table and then slap the guy. So the first one to bang the table is able to slap the guy, but we can just go with the guy with the highest roll gets to slap a guy.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with, just to make it easier.
Yes.
Okay. So roll your Constitution with advantage, I guess.
Yes. So you have to make a con
save
save.
or not?
Yeah, he has to make a con save with advantage. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
25, boy.
he just gets slapped, and it makes a loud, satisfying slap noise.
Well,
I wanted to do this for a long while.
well, shouldn't he also make a roll to see how well he actually slaps, like a straight strength check?
Sure.
Here come Mr. Noodle Arm.
You did.
I didn't
Not bad.
even feel that.
Okay, so how we're gonna rule this then is whoever rolls highest determines the outcome. So, if he rolls high on his strength, then you get sufficiently hurt. And if you roll higher on the con save, then you manage to resist.
Hmm.
Okay, so Mr. Burly Man is sitting next to Edo-san, and it is now Edo-san versus him. So
34.
52. Okay.
Ooh, you're about to get slapped, boy.
Nope,
Nope.
he rolled lower.
Oh.
So this guy is Burly. This guy is Burly.
Well, I'm not gonna laugh. I have a -1 as well.
Yes, but this guy is Burly. So he didn't roll very high, but he manages to resist. And he goes, "Are you sure you're up for this, candy ass?"
Well, like I said, I could use this, and I also maxed out this light hammer because my arms are little noodles.
He goes, "That's not regulation." To the hammer.
I know, but my arms, noodle.
Alright, I'll just say that the other guys, they go, and we'll tally up the amount of slaps afterward. So now it's a guy versus X-Blow. So we're gonna do that.
Let's go, boy.
It's Mr. Noodle Arm looking guy versus X-Blow.
Widery.
He got a 4, so go ahead.
If you roll natural one again,
22.
Alright, you get to slap him.
Do you get advantage as slaps as well, or
No.
No,
okay?
just because you're a little weakling. And there's gonna be a surprise, but it's not gonna matter.
Oh my god.
Alright, he gets slapped. Alright?
No, he got caressed along the cheek.
Harassed. You're so pretty.
It felt like a little baby arm just sort of touching the side of his face.
Who put the baby in here?
Jesus, man.
Alright, so it is now Edo-san versus X-Blow.
Can't believe you were so bad right there, man. Come on.
Wow, you guys are rolling super low. You're drawing really horrible cards.
Shitty cards.
um,
Oh no! What am I to do?
he rolled super low there too.
Yeah.
However, he manages to resist. Okay, so you're rolling against the next guy.
Yep.
Alright, Mr. Burly Man, he's gonna slap you. Alright, Burly Man has a higher strength. So this is gonna be fun. He rolled a 21.
Ooh.
Ooh!
Oh.
I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
See how far you fly.
Hip hop, hip ho.
Alright, you manage to, the chair tips onto its back legs, and everyone goes, ooh! And then you land back onto to the front legs as you manage to shift your body weight so that way you didn't fall onto the floor.
You just go like, jump back in line.
So, alright, the other NPCs go, and it is now Skinny Arm Man versus X-Blow.
Beat that, boy. Ah, yeah, boy. You gonna get it now. You gonna fucking get it now. That's an 8.
An 8. Wow.
An 8. You gonna get it
This
now.
guy. He
Jesus.
had. Ooh,
And
that's
that-
26. He just,
So I miss.
he just watches
You hurt your hand. You hurt your hand on his face. Like,
to be fair, gnomes do have the hands that are size of baby hands. So
you hit him right on that iron jaw, and you just like your wrist bends back, and you're just like,
yeah, I need you to
broke
make
my
a
arm?
Constitution save, just a regular Constitution save.
Did I break
All
my
right.
arm?
All right, you didn't. It was like you were just full-fisted punched a brick wall. However, you managed to restrain yourself so you didn't make a wimpy sound.
I will ask this gentleman. Are
Oh,
you
wait,
a
that's-
god or?
Not right. Oh wait.
What?
That's still
It's
not right.
it's a slash at the end.
Oh!
An actual
That-
52.
That's instantly go.
All right. Before this happens, Lucius wanted to ask something. So go ahead.
Oh, I'm actually going to not do anything. Sorry, I was going to actually give Explo the win this time.
Oh, okay.
He already got it.
Let's say that a 52 is a jack.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
everybody dexterity or
So, since you put on the jack, I would say like
the
dexterity saving throws or something to see who slaps who's first.
or who's faster.
Yeah,
Okay.
who's the fastest? So dexterity then,
Okay.
right?
Okay, sure.
So dexterity or dexterity save, acrobatics. What do we do?
Dex save.
Do I get advantage or normal?
Normal. You
Normal.
only get good at slap. When you get slapped, you're good at that.
Oh shit! Oh fuck!
All right.
Can
This
they beat a
guy-
30 is the question.
Okay, 20. And this is big burly man. Yeah, he doesn't. So this is skinny guy. And he goes, slap the baby. And he just walks
So-
up.
So me then.
Yes.
Yes.
And he goes with a 14 strength.
And I goes fuck you.
And this would have, he's just full body swinging his arm at you. Like he's not holding back either. And your chair doesn't even move. Your face just goes back and your face turns slightly red. However, it doesn't really affect you.
You think you're good at slapping? You nearly adopted slapping. I was born in it, molded by it.
Do you actually say that to him?
Yeah.
And he goes, he just sort of, his eyes go wide and he sits back down.
Can I do an intimidation roll to see if he leaves
Who
the
round of
game?
betting?
No, he doesn't leave the game.
No.
He doesn't leave the game.
Damn it.
Alright, so it is now...
One more round.
Yes, so it's Edo-san needs to roll against Burly Man, and then Weak Man needs to roll against,
Me!
yeah. So,
The dice are rolling. They're still rolling.
come on, Edo-san, where's your... There we go.
Yeah.
He got a nat 1, so he's got, like,
Ooh.
a 2.
Yeah!
This is his
We're
best
getting him,
slap.
boy.
This is his best slap.
God, this is so sad.
He got
Hey!
one!
You heard him! You actually heard him!
He
I'm
needs
so
to make a
proud of
dex
you right
save.
now.
He's not very good at dex saves. However, he rolled super well, so he manages to remain upright in his chair. And he goes, ugh. Didn't expect that one.
Weak
neither.
link. Me neither.
Alright, so there's one more roll.
Ah, yeah.
Who's this roll
That's quite fucking bad.
Well, hold on. Who's this roll between?
This is between Weakling and
Another weakling.
yeah,
Okay.
and XSplit.
Again, I mean the rolls like did it anyways, but I would have again if this is going to be the last one, I would have made sure that XSplit gets it.
I'll be switching machines right now.
No.
It's actually good timing.
Surprise!
It's
Yeah,
actually
but
good timing because then we're going to switch to the Texas Hold'em game.
I'm just gonna listen in to see what's gonna happen.
Okay.
I'm gonna strength save, or strength check, or whatever, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
fucking
need to roll your strengths.
be gone. Fuck! That's a 6.
This guy has a decent con save, even though he's skinnier. So he rolled a 14. So you just
Damn it.
slap against his face. It's like those weird fast forward things where they hit the guy's face and it just sort of jiggles slightly, but that's it. That's it. That's all that happens. His face jiggles, but that's it. So, nobody rolled super low. The only people who rolled super low, they managed to save. So the person who made the wimpiest sound is just one of the other extra guys that I didn't account for, unfortunately. The big burly guy just sort of smacked him in the face and he just went
Good. I do ask the big burly guy, what do you do in the camp?
He goes, cut wood.
Do you have any battle experience or like weapon skills?
If you
I am
count
Groot.
lumberjack axe, yes. Sometimes monsters would attack the camp, or the lumbering camp, where I worked. So, more than your average Joe.
Do you bring in like a lot of wood?
He
Like a
starts
significant
thinking,
amount?
well,
Who's his friend?
I do more of the cutting the tree down, and then when it's in camp, I cut it into the individual pieces.
Okay. So do you feel like you might be bringing down the most trees? Like if we have you move over to maybe being a guard or something, you think we might like take a hit in our lumber gathering? Again, I'm gonna yell out, who's this guy's friend?
Perhaps.
You have you have friends, right? Where's one of your smart friends? One
He-
who thinks too much.
He points to someone who is drinking the non-fermented fruit juice by the bar.
I'm gonna motion them to come over.
Alright, eventually you get his attention because he wasn't paying attention and he comes over.
Oh no, I will like just mage hand and like tap him on the shoulder,
Okay,
and then the
that's
finger
fine.
or the hand be like this way,
Alright,
and then point to me, and I'm like,
the weird Disney-esque goofy hand touches him on the
only
shoulder.
3 fingers, like
Yeah.
that, just
Yeah.
and then it fades away.
Yeah. Because we've determined that that's what your hand looks like earlier. So.
I'm totally cool with this. I work for the mouse. If they try to sue us, you're fucked. But anyways,
Well, they won't sue us for referencing them, I wouldn't think.
they might just send a cease and desist and be like, add an extra finger, dickheads.
Alright, so,
Anyways,
moving on. The guy comes over. And he
is
goes,
your buddy?
he has glasses on. Of course he's a nerd.
Is this why he thinks you're smart? Because, I mean, I've met a lot of people with glasses who are just as dumb as everybody else.
And he goes, yes.
Do you guys play Dungeons and Dungeons and more Dungeons?
I'm gonna stab him. No. Alright, so I'm just like, alright. Do you know how much wood is brought in by your friend here compared to the rest in the wood gathering camp?
Well, I do help drag the logs in, and I also keep track of how many we have. So yes, I do know how many he brings in.
Okay, so does he bring in the most?
Okay, I'm gonna roll for that. The guy goes, above average.
Would you think it'd be a significant drop in our wood gathering if he were to move over to the guards?
Perhaps, especially if you don't replace him with someone. But I hear that you're going to go out and gather more people, so...
When we come back, I'm going to have your friend move over to the guards. We'll make sure we have at least a few people to fill in.
All right. I will consider that loss and see where we can get some trainees.
Are you actually in charge of the wood gatherers?
Not per se, but I keep track of who's doing what, so that way I can report.
Okay.
So he's basically he's basically a narc. If somebody isn't doing their job, then he tells the leader, and the leader punishes him.
He is great. We need him.
I also want you to consider a potential shift as well after your friend leaves to the guards, and speak with Briggs. He could use people like you.
That is an avenue I did not consider. Perhaps I shall meditate on this for a while.
Yeah. Ponder it, let it run through the gears, let it run through the old mechanism. Think about it. Nothing would take effect until after we get more people back and your friend moves over to the guard. Then you would be free to move over to the to work with Mr. Briggs. But until then, I want you to stay where you're at. Keep helping your friend. Keep a tally on what exactly is going on.
He pats him on the shoulder. Come now.
Good job, guys.
And they both.
By the way, so with the splitting, were we able to set up where Explo won a decent amount? From the different betting, were we able to set it up? Were we able to kind of rig it that Explo at the end?
Okay. You were asking me a question. I didn't hear the first part. Okay.
Sorry. Cutting out. I'm all pickled out. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Damn.
You managed to... Let's see. I'm going to roll a dice to determine how much you get.
A 1D million.
About another 15 minutes before I gotta go outside.
Okay. You managed to get 1 gold and 1 silver piece.
We were able to manage getting 1 gold and 1 silver out of the 24 gold, 25 gold that was bet out.
They were going to get suspicious if you took too much money, because you're paying out the money to the person who won, or the people who won.
Right.
And who won?
We are a really shitty house. Really shitty. We should have taken at least more than half of the money.
Yeah, unfortunately, they saw how much money they gave, and they were expecting that as payout. So
just wait until
if they won, that's where it was
Yeah, the people who won wanted at least most of what was given.
Who won?
Well, no. If they won, they would of course get back what they got plus an extra couple silver or something. If somebody asked for here's my whole gold coin for today that I worked. I'm betting on Explo, Big Daddy Explo to win.
Okay, I'll let you set up the rules, but I was just rolling based on how much you were taking off the top, not just how much you were taking as a service.
Well, no. So basically, what I was going for is if Explo won, there's 10 gold on him. So I'd pay out that 10 gold plus would equate out to maybe another 5 gold, but then the rest of it goes to us because they bet on Autoson and the other guys and they lost.
Okay, so I'll roll a different dice then.
The 13 gold that should have been there, I wanted to recoup, so we only came up with 8. But
yes, but I'm also rolling to determine how much you got from the other things. Okay. I'll go with this.
And I was thinking roulette, where I was trying to give them the.
You managed to get 20 gold. Bet.
All right. Cool. 20 gold, guys.
Nice.
Yay!
This is like seriously like I'm gonna be happy for about all of 1 second, and then realize that I have over 1,500 platinum in my bag currently, and it just
Well,
feels sad that I got super
here's
excited
why
about
it's so
20
low.
gold.
It's because you're paying your people so low.
No, I understand that. No, I completely understand that. But there's like my character definitely goes through that where he's like, yes.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm already rich.
What am I doing again? Oh, I'm just trying to waste some time. That's what I'm doing. I'm just wasting time. Okay.
All right, so we're switching to the Texas Hold'em game at this point. So if anybody
If I'm
else
able-
needs to do anything,
If I'm
only
able to join
Howler
the
is
Texas game,
participating.
if I'm able to join the Texas game, I will do that.
Sure, why not?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
but
you have to
I will-
finish your game first, and Howler is going to be participating in a couple games before that happens.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
to be-
That's what I meant. If the Texas game started like at the same time, then yeah.
I mean, we can just skip them, or I can just do like a roll to see how they go.
Sure, I can do a roll to see what you got.
I should do the roll, but which roll? What's the number?
Okay, you can roll if you want. I'll say roll 1d50 because these are you're getting the total payout, whereas the other game was just the money on the bets.
Okay, so I roll a 29, but I also want to have in my fake cards, because I have extra sets.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna get you to do. I'm gonna get you to make 3 sleight of hand checks,
That's fine.
and dependent on how
Remember,
well
you
you
should have
do.
your luck.
Was that a double one? That was a double one, so I'm gonna luck that.
That's a double 1. Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened once before this campaign.
That's probably one of the first ones that you've gotten.
I like that we are the leaders of this town and probably the
Gambling
richest
in the
people
bar.
in this town, and still we're trying to grift all the workers that we're paying.
Okay, so
It's beautiful.
We're just going back to our basics, okay? We're just going back to our basics so we can get those a little bit stronger so that we can expand even higher.
okay, so here's what you get as a result of what you just rolled. You get an additional D15.
D50. Six.
So you get an additional 6 gold.
Nice. So 35.
Because you managed to cheat at just the opportune moment when someone went all in, and you managed to win that encounter. And
Yeah.
6 extra gold.
yeah, just from that one.
Rolling in the money. Rolling in the money.
Alright, so as this is happening, you guys are just about to start another game of Dwarven Hold'em, as we've called it.
I think we played it earlier, wasn't it? Like you get 3 things, like you can do insight if you want to see what the enemies have, you can do deception if you want to bluff about your cards, and you can do sleight of hand if you want to change out any of the cards.
Yeah. But unfortunately, you wanted to skip it, so you didn't get to do
Yeah,
any of
that's fair. I'm just thinking about the next one.
it. Yeah. So you can do a bunch of things to try to switch cards. But you do have to roll to see how good your cards are, and then you can try to change them or bluff or things like that.
Yeah, that's
But either
fair.
way. As
What
the
is
next
the buy-in?
game is about to start, let's see, Geo is not back yet. Okay, great. You guys are, it seems like there's going to be an in-house, there's a couple of people who got to cobble together an instrument, and oh, someone messaged me. Sorry, that was distracting. There's a couple of people who managed to cobble together maybe 1 or 2 instruments, and they're going to play some songs. If anybody is interested in watching the in-house entertainment, you can do that.
I'm sure it's loud enough where we actually hear it, even though we're playing cards.
Yes, it's going to be loud enough to fill the whole room. So you can spend your time just watching the in-house entertainment, or you can continue doing what you were doing.
Yeah.
So that's up to everybody. What do you want to do?
I'm actually going to use thaumaturgy and prestidigitation to amplify and give effects to the bands.
Okay, underneath the other man.
When Explo is kind of halfway drunkenly walking over to the dwarven hold'em table, he kind of steps onto the table and he holds his arm around Lucius.
We got a month.
Is he even here?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm here. What are you?
Yeah.
What's up, little buddy?
When Explo is trying to walk over to the dwarven hold'em table, he's walking up to the slapjack table, and he's holding his arm around you while he's walking over the table towards the dwarven Texas hold'em table. And it's like, you know, when I was a kid, the Durgard used to beat me up every day. That's why I'm so good at slapjack. But you know, I showed them. I started to enjoy the beatings sexually, and I start looking him straight into the eyes.
I'll stare him straight back and go,
That's
if you want to
a
have a good
2 in
time.
intimidation.
I'm going to stare him dead back, and I'm going to try and intimidate him, and I'm going to say, well, if you want to get slapped around, my Etten buddy can go ahead and do it for you.
Etten?
And I get a 20... Not investigation. Not insight.
There we go.
Intimidation. One more. I came off more intimidating than you.
Ooh. What's an Etten?
That's why it's not intimidating. He doesn't know
It's
what
really
it
my
is.
abomination.
Oh.
If you want, he can slap you. And it gives you a nice strong kick.
The router.
It has a stinger attack too.
Like right there. They're all done.
Bring him to my cabin later.
I don't want to ever hear what you guys did in there, and then I'm gonna just separate myself from the little man. By the way, when you say you put your arm around my shoulder, in reality, do you mean like you put like half your arm across one shoulder blade, and then like we're patting my neck?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Stroking it. Actually, stroking your neck.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Matthew.
we're waiting for Geo for the event to happen, or?
No. This musical event is going to happen. But I'm just looking something up, so I was letting you guys talk.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna scream demonetize, but yeah.
I'm gonna have my mage hand just hit him right in the pink, like right in the poop shooter, just like one finger deep in there.
Like right now in the pub.
I was thinking about it, especially if you're gonna yell out demonetize. Like what?
The computer man is back.
Oh.
Hi, the Geo.
Okay. So, Geo.
By the way, I will have to leave in about
Yes.
5 minutes or so to get my daughter off the bus.
Okay.
I think it's like in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Say hi to the
Which
boss.
was another reason why I wanted this musical event to happen. So that way, that way you don't miss the main event.
Cool.
Cool.
What?
Be here
I
at
am not the main
3:39,
event.
So I actually got a little time.
Okay. So we're doing a musical event. There's a couple of people who got some musical instruments together, and they're going to do an in-house live musical event. Just so
So
that
I'm
way
using
you're aware.
prestidigitation to make the pyrotechnics. Actually, does it also? As well as adding fake musical notes in the background, where appropriate, and thaumaturgy.
Alright. Let me... Okay, so I'm just gonna do... parts of the lyrics. Because this is a country song, and I need to rework it so that way it works in universe. So I'll give you guys chances to react if you wish, or do other things while this is happening.
Sing along, like, you mean?
If you want.
Ooh.
It's a song about a drunk
Hold on,
guy.
hold on.
So,
I have the perfect I have the
Is it Drunken
perfect one
Sailor?
that works.
Are they about to sing
No.
Drunken Sailor?
sorry?
Are they about to sing Drunken Sailor?
No.
That's not a country song.
Yes, it is a
Great
country
song,
song.
though.
It's mildly country. It's not like full country. Either way. I actually just heard this
Is there a
song
lot of country
today.
up in Nova Scotia?
No, I actually just heard this song today on the radio. So,
That's what I'm saying. Is there a lot of country up there?
I have the
I
perfect
know you got a lot of country, but I mean the music. You got a lot of music.
yes, that's what I assumed you meant.
Well, I know I saw Autosod. Yeah, and I'm
I
like,
have
I
the
know
perfect
he's
country
about to go
song
with
for you
the...
guys.
You have a country song?
The perfect one.
You can request
You have-
it later.
Big enough!
Okay.
For anyone that's curious, just type into YouTube "screaming cowboy" and you will
Yeah.
understand.
We're just big enough.
Okay, so I'm just making sure that these...
It didn't say anything about the... It shows nothing about these, so I'm just not going to eat.
Okay, so
No return
the
trap
problem
on
I'm having is I need to name alcohols. Because there's 2 alcohol names that are currently that I need to rework. So just give me a second.
What alcohol names? We can help you.
One is
Who's
a
next?
one is a rum and one is a wine.
Butter nipples.
Do they just sing rum and wine, or is it the name of the rum and the wine?
Yeah, it's the name of them, and I want to rework.
Buttery
Okay,
nipples.
what is the names?
One. Fine, let's just get this all out there. One is called Honky Red. That's the wine.
Honky Dragon. There you go. The Honky Dragon.
The Honky Dragon.
The Honky Dragon.
Okay, and the rum is a Gold Anchor.
Just keep Gold Anchor. That works.
Yeah,
Sure.
actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So here, I'm just gonna read the lyrics.
Oh, come on, sing them, boy.
Sing 'em.
Sing 'em.
Sing them.
No.
Sing 'em like you mean 'em.
Accent.
No.
Come on.
So I'll describe the scene. Here's the scene. There's an elderly human man.
We
He's
still have 10 minutes.
he's the guy who's gonna sing. And he has a guitar or guitar-like instrument.
Banjo.
And there's another guy with a harmonica, and there's another guy with a banjo.
Okay.
Does anybody have a lute?
Not currently.
Or a half-full moonshine bottle.
They have one on the floor next to them. Okay, so he says he ain't got no back porch and he ain't got no rocking chair, but he's got a dirty coat and shaky hands and a face like a grizzly bear. He's an old wino and he scares all the ladies that say he's a bum. But he's wired up on his Dragon Red and his good old gold anchor rum. So that's how the song starts.
You should have changed the bear to an owl bear. That would be better.
Like I said, prestidigitation and thaumaturgy to like help out. Like when he says that, his eyes are like a grizzly, or he has the face of a grizzly bear, I'm gonna like change his eyes to look like they're like bear eyes.
All right. Fair enough. Anything else happening? What else
Small
is happening?
pyrotechnics with the prestidigitation.
Yes.
When appropriate.
I'll let that go. So, who is doing anything else?
Not much. Yes.
Okay,
I
just
mean, I
listening.
can help
Okay,
with the pyrotechnics with
I'm on.
Explo.
missing one of these.
He's using
What?
illusory pyrotechnics.
Oh, no, wait.
He's not using real pyrotechnics.
Back there.
We don't want anybody to get blown up.
That's right.
I kind of want to step in now.
Hey,
I got an 18 on my
This is
performance
weak!
check too.
Okay. So just walks up to Explo and says, "You think that those illusionary pyrotechnics is just meh? How about we bring some spice?"
Just meh.
No.
They're shitty.
No, I got an 18 on my performance check. F all of you. It's damn good this time. And second, we're inside a wood building. How about we don't have actual pyrotechnics that might set it on fire?
That's fair.
Expo starts running up to the
How
scene to
about-
make some actual pyrotechnics with the bomb charges.
You
You
guys
see him jump
this
off the
happening.
table, just starting to sprint against
The Eden
across.
is going to go ahead and pick up Explo and then start walking him back to Explo's tent and starting to very lightly smack him on his belly. Let him know the slap fest's about to start, buddy.
That will be a contested roll.
Okay, let's do that. The Etten's strength, which is your
Hold on.
abomination strength,
Yeah, no, I'm finding the abomination.
versus Explo's strength.
Can I choose between acrobatics?
I was
it is
thinking
like a
about
strength
not
check.
letting
It is a
you,
contest.
but go ahead. Go ahead.
So 22?
Yeah, I literally have to have a natural 20 to beat that.
22.
All right, 22 versus 7. So
I win.
no.
Oh,
No,
I
that's
win.
not how it happens, buddy.
Yeah, I do.
So the end comes up and picks you up, and then he puts you into the crook of his arm, and then he starts patting your belly as he starts to walk out of the end.
With
Have
me on his back.
fun. He's gonna slap the shit out of you. Safe word is kumquat.
All right.
Stay first, please, more daddy.
So then, as this is happening, he goes into the chorus. When he needs a drink, he's chained to a sink. It's please and thank you, ma'am. When he's got a head full of that dragon red, he doesn't give a good god stand. So that's the chorus. And he
As
repeats
I'm on
that
the
a
way-
couple of times.
As I'm on the way out on the abomination's shoulder, can I use a few bomb charges to make like a firework display, kind of, from the back of the abomination?
You can try. I'll say make a just straight deck.
So you're saying you're blowing up the abomination?
Just straight decks?
Yeah, to see if you can get it into the proper location.
No, like when I'm hanging on his shoulder, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna do it from my hand.
You're not. No, he doesn't have you on his shoulder. He's put you because you're a gnome, and this thing is a large creature. He has put you in the crook of his arm, and he is
Oh.
holding you like a baby, and he's patting your belly so you can't get out.
Okay then. So
Where's
dexterity,
You
I
can
guess.
try to escape.
What roll do you want?
The same roll that you used.
Athletics
However, he gets to roll against you
acrobatics
again.
or athletics?
Acrobatics. A 4.
So go ahead with the abomination strength.
+5. I can't get access to the sheet at the moment.
The
25,
only thing
not
that
20.
can save me now is a
got
nat
it.
1. Fuck!
He got a natural 20. So the complete opposite happens.
So one of the heads actually goes, shh, everything's okay, everything's okay.
And
Guess
it
I'm
says
gonna
it
have
in
a fun night.
weird, gurgly voice.
Mhm.
But it does.
Everything's okay. Everything's gonna be fine.
I'm gonna smack the crap out of you for fun.
So are you attempting to take him out of
Oh,
the tavern?
Not
or
my
are you-
idea. I wanted to do it outside.
Basically, just like take him outside just until the music ends, so that way, like
Okay.
he doesn't set fire to the actual inn. And then he'll be, put back down, and he can be a part of, your next scene. I won't just remove him
Yay!
because I feel at this point, I think the Blue Slotty Abomination could take you out, and or not out, but like just walk away with you if you want.
Okay. So he moves on to the next verse. Unless
It's time
anybody wanted to
use
do
El
anything.
Jubanibre.
Wait.
No.
Where's your mecha bear?
I will actually have
Somewhere in the
made
town.
him float a
I'm guessing.
tankard of ale or beer out to Explo and hand it to him.
Okay. So the next verse, it has some words that I need to rework. So if they don't rhyme,
He's giving a peace
I'm gonna
offering. Don't
try.
fall for it.
to make them rhyme. He says he fought in your wars, and he slept in your doors, and he left his leg on the ground. All that remains is the ghostly pain in the mornings when he hears the sound. He was born in the sticks, and he was raised up till 6, and
It's sometimes like you.
so he isn't much in demand. He delivers handbills, and he steals the red medicine. I can't rework that one, so I'm just gonna let that one go. Okay, and then he goes back to the chorus.
He's from another dimension, that
Yes.
human.
Do you?
I like this guy.
Don't you have to? You have to get your daughter out right now.
Yeah, my mom's at the window, waiting to see when the bus rolls.
Okay,
I'll be getting off in a minute.
Okay.
checking out for you, man.
Yeah, he's just trying to help you out.
No, I know.
He goes back to the
I see
chorus.
Matt talking, but we can't hear him.
No,
talking?
A lot of pink
Gio was talking.
pickles. Pickles. A lot of pink pickles.
I'm the only pickle here.
Whoops.
You just
Come
got
on.
one.
No, he's not. We
Bunch
have.
of pickles.
Okay, and then
Oh,
unless
he's muted
anybody
to me.
has anything that they want to say, he just continues with the chorus. The other one I've determined is
There we go.
The other verse I've determined is way too hard to rework, so we'll just do that. So he's just going to continue with the chorus for a little while longer. So, unless if there was anything else that you guys wanted to do during that
I
song.
wouldn't mind progressing. Yeah.
Okay, so unfortunately we're going to be progressing into the next thing, but I think we lost 2 of our people.
One, I guess.
Oh.
One.
Geo, your camera's just not on. That's what confused me. Okay.
My camera's acting up.
You're not showing a face!
I mean, if you were waiting for him, then I would go around to see if the Oni or the Naga, because they should be in town.
Yes.
We'll look around.
And just so you guys know, I'm going to send you the thing. The song that I was trying to rework. Just in case you care.
There we go.
Yeah. Just put it in Discord, that's easiest.
Was I muted for a
No.
while?
No.
Yeah, to me, that's my
No.
bad.
Oh, okay.
Because I had you muted for some reason.
Okay, there it is. Just in case you care. Which
Yeah.
you might not. So,
Widespread panic. Honky red.
yes. That was the one that I was trying to rework. But I didn't have time because I only heard it today. So, Perhaps it'll come up later and I'll have it reworked, but that's okay. For now, it's done and past. I'll say that the artists that were trying to write the song got it fully worked out yet. So they just sung the chorus a bunch of times. So, yes. So what were you saying? Howler was doing?
We're just waiting for him to come back, then Howler would go look to see if the Oni
right.
the
I lost
Nagas
track.
know.
I lost track. You have a feeling that they wouldn't want to be seen inside the building in case people get drunk and act in ways that they might not normally. So they are probably outside sitting. Which, X-Flow, you do see them. There's like this weird snake creature just sort of curled up next to the entrance to the bar. And you also see this weird blue giant creature just sort of sitting next to the bar as well. And they were listening to the song.
Well, I'm gonna assume that I am the master of my own movements again.
Yes, now that the song is over, yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna walk over to them and ask why they're not inside.
Alright. The Naga goes, "Why do you think?" And it's just a large snake.
Scare crowds?
The Oni says, "Something like that." Which is the large blue giant creature.
Oh, in that case, let's go inside.
Why?
Because all races are welcome. And you should all feel welcome at the Lily Leaf Bar? Lily Pads? Lily
The
Pad Bar?
Lily's Pad.
The Lily's Pad Bar.
Yes, it is a double, it's a pun. Lily Pad and Lily's Pad. And pad being like a place you stay.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
Lily's Pad.
Yeah. So it is a double meaning to that. Either way, they go. The snake-like creature goes, "Perhaps when they have finished being drunk."
It's a bar. The whole fucking meaning of going inside is to get fucking drunk.
Well, we do not wish to be a hindrance to the festivities. Not to mention, they're not really our cup of tea.
There?
Yeah, the two that are sitting there that you're talking to.
Yeah, the rest of the people inside is not their cup of tea.
No, the festivities in particular. So, like, jovial merriment. The particular type of jovial merriment that they're having is not what they're interested in.
Suit yourself, boys, and I'll just walk inside again.
Alright.
Yeah, and then you'll probably come across me carrying two mugs of beer outside, looking for them.
Okay, yeah, you almost bump into him and knock the cups out of his hand, but you manage to remain steady enough that you stumble out of his way.
So I don't have to make a roll?
No, I'm gonna say
See if I
that
fuck it all up.
automatically happens.
Damn it.
Alright, you walk outside, Howler, and you see them both just sort of sitting there. One's curled up and the other one's just sort of in a sitting position. And the Oni says, "What happened to the music?" Do they only have one song?
I have no idea about these bards, but I suppose you could ask them, and I will hand them both a mug.
The Oni is just gripping the little handle of the stein between his index and thumb. Index finger and thumb. Because he's a lot bigger. And the Naga motions its head for you to put it on the ground. And it just sort of licks its serpentine tongue into the mug.
Which is basically just like a silly straw.
And then I just asked them, so how have it been released from, and I motion to the temple, this area here? Is it suitable for your...
Well, not being able to feed on these people is something to get used to. However, we have found things in the wilderness suitable to our needs. At least to sustain us and keeping alive.
Yes, and I mean, and I will shoot them to the Naga. Other means of sustaining yourself could potentially come in the future, but for now, you realize your circumstances.
Yes, the apocalyptic situation. If I had no food source left, it would be unwise for me to do that, otherwise I would die. So I do see the practicality in our agreement.
And you, Ruga, I remember you doing some sort of trick. Couldn't you go invisible?
I'll double check that.
As a character, I think I know that you can go invisible. As a player, I know I definitely can, as well as miss and kind of cold.
I'm just gonna double check the exact circumstances and everything. So just give me a second. Because if he's gonna be talking to you about it, I'm gonna have to know that information.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yes, he can do that. Yeah. He does have some other spells. Okay, so he goes, yes, I also have access to a few spells, but I can only use them once a day. And
So
just for specific sake, he would have told you what his powers were at some point, I assume. He can create darkness, magical darkness, and go invisible at will. However, once per day he can charm person, cone of cold, gaseous form, and sleep.
Yeah, so basically gaseous form is he turns into me, which is kind of what I wanna make sure nobody's listening into. And I wanna mention I would very much appreciate if you could keep tabs on these demon for me while I'm out.
Okay, there is some background noise. I assume that's coming from Tim.
I'll move locations for a minute. Hold on.
Okay. Just because I didn't exactly hear what Ben was saying, but I think I got the gist of it.
So yeah, I'm basically saying that. So I think the Lehman are up to something, and I would greatly appreciate if you could keep tabs on them while I'm gone.
Okay, sure. So he goes, so you mean after you leave camp, not now?
Well, now would be great as well, but first enjoy your night. And I mean, we have larger glasses or cups somewhere.
He goes, well, this is not really my drink of choice. I'll savor what I have.
How about the beef jerky?
He takes your little tiny piece of beef jerky. And he goes,
He's large, so I give him a 4, because that makes sense.
He just is looking at it between his index finger and thumb again. And he's just going,
Oh my god, Tim just became a... Oh, he stopped.
Yeah,
What did I
when you use your phone, it's always your picture freezes, so it's hard to
Yeah,
see.
I'm
but
actually using my tablet.
your hands were doing like this. So you just became a little DJ there for a few seconds.
No, but I'm
Okay.
actually on my tablet. I'm trying to do better, and apparently it's still all shitty at my house. Yay.
Yay.
well,
Apple, everybody.
it'll
No, Android. Samsung all the way. Samsung guy. Woo-woo.
I also
So you
want
got thumbs up from Geo?
okay. So,
I also want to hand the only 5 potions of healing.
regular potions of healing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I want to ask the Naga if he can use this.
Use this.
Yeah, use this as I hold a potion in my hand.
Oh, he goes. The effect does have that this has on those of your kind, it does have on me. Though I do not have hands to hold it, so storing it is a bit of an issue.
I'll leave 2 with this guy for you, and I give him 2 more.
Okay.
That's for the Naga.
Yes, so healing potions work the same on anything that is considered a creature, but except for things like constructs and things of that nature, like undead, and except for the things that are excluded, it works on everything else. But like he said, he's a snake, so he doesn't have hands.
Yeah, I'll just give 1 to the throne extra, so if
Okay,
it
that's
comes
fine.
up.
That's fine. They are sort of sticking together. They have a sort of kinship in that they're very evil creatures that don't seem to fit in here, that wish that they weren't bound by the thing that they are bound by. They sign it willingly, but
Yes.
they're now realizing the consequences of what they signed.
Yes, which is why I'm trying to address them now, because I want us to have a more beneficial relationship in the future. And I know of your previous deeds, Nightmare.
Yeah,
they called you.
they've been hunting creatures out in the wilderness. That's how they've been sustaining themselves.
I'm talking about before, like when it was a nightmare, and I'm just trying to get the point across that this is bad, but it's temporary. Once we, and I motion to me, as in me, start getting things running up here better, you could be more free to do as you please.
Perhaps.
So,
though we do see the utility in keeping our livestock alive. At least for a time.
yes, which is what we talked about earlier. So I'm just kind of trying to get the point across that, like, yeah, this doesn't have to happen forever, but for now, like, if you...
They are long-living creatures, so they will take you up on that.
Yeah.
Eventually.
That's cool.
Benjamin?
Yeah?
As a character, you do know that Explo has over 100 charges of beef jerky made of human flesh.
Oh, yes. Actually, I would bring that up. And how about a little gift to make a better peace offering between us? My little friend, yes. And I make sure nobody's listening. And I say,
you better be damn sure nobody's listening, boy.
human meat, if you wished for it.
Alright, there are a few people hanging out outside, so I'm gonna...
Okay, send a message then. Yeah,
Okay.
if there's people, I'm not gonna risk it. So,
Okay. I was gonna say that there are a couple just people hanging around outside, because there isn't enough room for all of them inside the tavern.
Yeah, that's fair. So, I kind of just keep creepy stuff in their heads, not out in the open.
Fair enough. So you tell one of them, and he goes, And then you tell the other one, and he goes... It's just slightly delayed.
Yes. And then, hang on a second, and I will go back and look for Explo.
Alright. And it is in this moment, when you walk back in, that suddenly you hear... coming from somewhere close by. Seems to be a feminine scream, but you're not sure. You don't see the person. Because you just walked back in. And everybody sort of stops what they were doing and looks towards the direction that the sound came from. Which is directly away from where you just walked from. Albert. So it's outside the building.
So I just yell out towards the people, don't worry, I will handle this, and I will start walking that direction, I guess.
Lily is going to exit to make sure everything's alright.
Yeah.
So, what everybody else is doing is up to them. They can join, they cannot. It's up to you.
Does everybody hear that stuff?
Yeah, you hear it. You heard it over the commotion of everybody talking, even. It was loud.
Okay.
But however, you know that it wasn't inside the building, or else it would have been even louder.
Okay, I start running outside against Howler and all those other people, Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
With
Explo
a couple of bombs in my hands, let's blow something up, guys!
he runs
I will also
outside.
accompany with my abomination.
Okay. The abomination exits the corner it was sitting in. Because it went back to the corner after it let Explo go. Because it would have
frozen
done
in what looks like you picking your nose. This is awesome.
What?
Oh, Matt's currently frozen on my screen, like his little box, and it looks like he's got his thumb halfway up his nose.
Funny, however, I don't think I see that. No, I don't.
Nobody else is seeing that.
Just me, and it's beautiful. Screenshot? I need to screenshot this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why can't you freeze in such delightful images?
Because I'm awesome?
You
so
just
the
turn
only
into
person
pickles.
who hasn't exited the building yet is Edo-san. So what does Edo-san do?
Yeah. Yeah, so it goes after them, thinking someone might have bumped into DT or something and just got freaked out by it.
Alright, so you all exit the building, and you see Lucius. This is one of the guards that you told to be stationed next to the Lehman place. And he rushes forward and he says, "Oh, sir, there's a disturbance that way."
At the Lehman camp? Or,
No, he's pointing in a different direction.
What is the problem?
Shadow creatures.
No.
I thought this place was safe from the shadow.
It is. They mostly remain away. However, there is something there. I ran away to warn you.
Are we seeing this as a group, or?
Yeah, you
Is it
guys are
just
together, because you guys said that you exited the building, so you're all exited the
Insight
building.
check!
Okay, go ahead.
Oh god damn, that's bad.
And I'm gonna keep hidden the value of what he is potentially hiding or not.
I'm only 13.
If anybody else wishes to insight him, they can in this moment. Or they can help someone else if they wish to do that.
Hold on, man. Since everybody's doing an inside check, sure, why the hell not?
Figure the same.
People are so suspicious of the guard that's supposed to keep us safe, sure, why the hell not?
Why weren't you at your post?
Okay.
Alessandro just is like...
Okay, you can ask him why he wasn't at his post. But I'm gonna give you some information first.
Okay.
Because you did roll insight on him immediately. So, you do get some information. Some of you did get some information. He seems worried for more than one reason. However, you didn't roll high enough to know what those reasons are most likely are. So he seems worried, but he also seems worried that he's approaching you at this moment.
Does it seem like he's lying to us?
Lying
There's more to this
directly? No. He's telling the truth that there is shadow creatures over there. However, he's not lying. He's not lying about that, but he seems to be hiding something that you haven't gotten to yet.
What else is it?
Expo just starts shouting, "Yes! I've been waiting so long to pick up," and he's running towards wherever the problem is.
Okay, so Explo is running.
With his little stubby legs.
Yeah, so he is slightly slower than pretty much the rest of you.
Everybody.
I'm gonna send up my blue slotty abomination after him.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna step closer to the guard. And then just ask in a slightly quiet, menacing voice, "What are you not telling me? I know there's more."
And I need you to roll an intimidation check. Because he is afraid of you, and that's what you picked up on. Is that he's slightly nervous for another reason. Okay. He goes, I had to stop watching the Lehman, and so did the rest of the guards that were around the Lehman.
Why?
We saw something near the edge of the encampment. We thought that took priority. However, it sort of lured some of our men into a trap.
Into a trap?
Yes. Some of our men are currently captured by the shadow creatures.
That means some of your men are stupid as hell.
As this is happening, I'm sending a message to the owner if he could do his misting and keep a track of the Lehman.
Okay. Everyone who cares about what the Oni is doing can roll a perception check.
Roll a
perception.
Already heading to the source of the problem.
Explo don't give a shit. He's running with a bunch of bombs in his hand to get across the screaming lady or whatever.
Okay. Lucius does not notice. And anyone who chooses to fail by not caring is also failed. I guess no one else cares. So, however,
we're trying to survive together.
Howler, you do see him turn invisible. That's the first thing he does. But you don't know if he turned into a gaseous state or not. But he is invisible because he can do that at will. So it's less of a commitment for him to do that. So, he just turns invisible, and you don't know where he is, because you're not paying attention to that anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yes, do you wish to speak to this guard any longer?
I'm going to make him follow us, and we are going to go deal with the situation.
Alright, so he does begrudgingly follow you. And as he's following you, he says, I do feel personally responsible for what happened. I am sorry. As he continues running beside you.
We will deal with that when the time is right. But now we need to deal with the current problem, and then we'll address the mistakes that were made.
Fine. And you all rush forward. Now...
before I rush forward, because I don't want to just rush, I want to command the rest of the people to get up to the fences and to secure especially the entrance to the temple.
Okay.
Like that we have people
there's a few guards that are rushing in that direction. However, the civilians are just trying to get somewhere safe. At this moment.
Fine.
Okay.
I'm also going to be casting mage armor on myself.
Okay.
But I mean, inside the temple is probably the safest, so I'm assuming they're in that direction anyways.
Okay. So you guys start heading towards the direction that he indicated.
Yeah, riding my
And I'm going to do my
car.
normal thing. You're going to start at least 100 feet away.
Yeah.
So you're 100 feet away at this point as a group. I'm going to say that you all somehow managed to sync up eventually. And you're now, as a group, 100 feet away.
And what do we see?
And here's what you see. Without rolling anything, if you want to see something else, you can roll, potentially. But here's what you see. You see next to it... Okay, go ahead. What did you
Map
want?
do we need to... Gosh, no.
What?
Do map stuff.
Sorry?
What map are we on?
Oh, we're just on this map. The map doesn't matter. At the moment. Because we're just doing theater of the mind for a moment. I hope that's okay. I didn't hear you respond, but that's alright.
I said okay.
Okay. Your mic might be cutting in and out again, which we might have to, just for you, figure out a different solution for that. So, if you want to start doing that, figuring that out.
That should fix it.
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
For now.
So, okay. So, here's what you see. You see next to the tree line a group of about 5 guards. They appear to be unconscious, not moving, at least from this distance. You can get closer or examine from this distance to get more, but from this distance, their heads are slumped over. They're all tied around with a big old rope, and they're tied back to back to back, so their backs are against each other. And they appear to have something in their mouths, perhaps a gag of some sort. You are 100 feet away, so the fact that you're even seeing that is...
Oh, just to say.
But you don't see any threats. You just see
Do
that
we
the
make
guards are tied up next to the tree.
Is that when we make perceptions?
Yeah, if you want to see something else, you have to tell me what you're looking for.
I'm looking for any sort of creatures.
And I was gonna say I wanted to use my scope to see what's off and see if they're completely okay or if it's not just a trap.
Okay. So the first one I have here is Howler. Yeah, you don't see any enemies.
Okay.
Tim, what was Lucius looking for?
Just any other details.
Okay, anything that you might find important? The rope is attached to the tree as well. It's wrapped around the tree multiple times. This rope is at least 100 feet long. Because it's wrapped around the guards multiple times, and it's also wrapped around the tree multiple times.
Okay.
So it's like a common cartoon wrapped around them?
Yeah,
like all the guys
like
are wrapped around. Yeah.
In those cartoons where they have the guards all tied up against each other.
Yeah.
That's literally what has happened.
Just one big piece of rope just wrapped multiple times around the tree.
Okay, so whoever we're going against is into BDSM.
Yeah.
You can assume what you wish.
Expo didn't black out, did he?
No.
No laughs? Nothing? No?
You said, did Explo black out? And I said no.
Yeah, he said somebody has done this, was into BDSM, and Expo didn't black out, did he?
No.
Because then he might have done it.
No. The answer is no.
I'm getting it.
You had one continuous stream of consciousness. Okay, I see what Howler is doing. I need his stealth roll for that. I don't know if he heard me or not. Howler?
Stealth check?
Yeah, stealth.
20, that's terrible.
Considering you have a bonus of plus 15, yeah, 20 is terrible. But yeah, you managed to slip away from the group. And if anybody wants to see where he is, they have to roll above a 20 with perception.
Not me.
Also, with a 13, I checked on the guards. Are they okay? What's the gag? Is it a trap or anything? I don't know.
Well, this isn't Saw, so the gag is not literally going to explode their head open. It's just cloth.
Oh,
As far as we know.
It just looks like cloth is stuffed into their mouth and then tied around their head.
Let me see if I can get a better vantage point for like cover fire and such.
Okay, let me describe the area you're in a little better, just so that way you know what you have to choose from. You are currently on a lower plane. There are no houses nearby. There's no ruined buildings nearby. There's just tall grass in this area. And the nearest higher place is the ground where the the guards are. That's slightly higher up. And then there's trees next to where the guards are. So the only higher vantage point is forward. Unless if you want to go like several hundred feet back.
Several hundred feet are we talking?
Approximately 700 feet back.
Much. As we
Yeah.
go forward then, and we have to be careful.
So you see the guards are tied up. Okay, so Howler would have been the first person to do something. But you guys can... I'll let you guys decide what you want to do before we get to Howler.
Carefully move up to the guards and me to see if fishy going on.
Okay, so Erosan is starting to break off from the group and walk forward towards the guards. Slowly, but he's walking towards the guards. What is everybody else doing?
Explo is sprinting straight towards the guards, and he's gonna pull up the grower. And his intention is to yell "Bazinga!" and just cut the rope
Okay.
like a big ol' hero.
Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. What is everybody else doing?
Blue Slotty is going to extend his wings. He's going to fly up to, I think he's moving, flies 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
1 second. Let me make sure.
Yeah, now that you have the new wings that are of appropriate size.
Yeah, so 30 flying. He's going to fly 30 feet into the air. So that way he can move and still attack. And he's just going to basically fly in and then do one circle around, trying to find any of the shadow as I move forward on the ground.
Unfortunately, with your abominations, you can't look through their eyes. So.
No, I understand. I'm just giving him the instruction to look for enemies.
Your regular abominations, the minor abominations, you can, but you would have to specify that you're using those. Okay.
Well, I mean, if I can also have them kind of run out and start looking, I will. Like, have one go to the right, one go to the left.
Okay. But you can only look through one at a time. I know, it's a party ruiner.
No, it's one of those where I'm just basically going to kind of leave instructions with the minor abominations that if they see something, they're to make contact with me so I can see through their eyes. Otherwise, they're just acting as like independent drones moving through to see if they can find any of the enemy.
So I think that's everyone.
And
Lily
I have,
is just going to be acting in accordance with everybody else, just because she's NPC mode at this moment. Yes, the first thing that's going to activate is Howler, because he was the first one to say anything that he was doing.
Well,
So,
first I'll see if they react when I put the anti-magic orb near them, and the second I will look for any tracks of where people might have gone. If there's anyone hiding, like I'll investigate the area.
the anti-magic orb, if you get within 50 feet of them, it doesn't do anything to them.
Okay, sure. And then I will kind of look for tracks to see if there's the people who did that, where they came from.
Alright, make a survival
Okay.
check.
Not investigation, fine. 2, 6.
Alright, you don't see any defined tracks. You see, like, there's parts where the ground is lower and higher, but you don't see any defined tracks.
Okay. I look to see if there's anything left behind in this area, then.
Okay. No, you don't see anything other than the rope and the guys.
Okay, I'm highly suspicious of this thing happening, so I'm just gonna stay hidden.
Okay.
And I'm gonna climb one of the trees, because why not?
Okay. So, nothing has attempted to spot you yet, so you still have your 20 stealth roll.
Okay,
Just so
do I
that
manage
you're
to climb the tree, or do you want to check?
Sorry?
Do I manage to climb the tree, or do you want to check?
I'll say that since you're doing it carefully and in stealth, I'll say that you managed to do so, but you're doing so
Sure.
slowly.
Sure.
Okay, so Edo-san, you begin subtly moving forward, and then you see Explo begin to try to rush past you with his sword drawn. You can attempt to try to stop him if you want, but...
Screaming.
Yeah, he's
Screaming loudly.
Yes.
Nope. I'm gonna let this idiot kill himself.
Okay.
Just because I beat you in slapjack.
Lucius, you also see this happening. If you want to attempt to stop him, I'll give you a chance. And we don't hear anything.
So nobody's gonna stop me.
Yeah, he's muted. So he must be doing something. So I guess he's
And I
not
was
going to stop you. So that's
And
fine.
I was googling something, so I have no idea what it was saying. That's gotta be fun.
So, yeah,
Let's go!
You rush forward. And you get within approximately 30 feet of the dudes, and you feel like you run into a wall at full speed. So you like stumble and fall back.
I run into a wall at full speed.
That's what it feels like to you. However, you don't see anything.
It would hurt like hell. I'm gonna cast detect magic.
And you see the entire area around this tree glowing brightly. Except for a certain little section that is cut out partially in the air. Because Howler is in a tree nearby with an anti-magic orb.
Can I reach this little hole?
You can try climbing the wall if you want.
Can I use oh shit. Can I use Arcana to see if I cast spider climber myself, will I be able to just walk on magical walls?
You
Because
can
I have
roll, and I'll
Because
look
I
that up.
have no idea if that's even fucking possible.
I would say that depends on what type of magic that is. Like, if it's a wall of fire, you're gonna fucking burn. But
Yes.
if it's a wall
But it
made of
does
magic
have-
glass-
Yeah, well, I've already just ran into it, and I'm not caught on fire, so it's obviously
yeah.
not a wall of fire.
Yes, but what he's saying is if it doesn't have, like, properties where you can... It has it stops you physically. Like, if it doesn't have physical properties like that, then it's not going to work, is what he's saying. But I'm just going to look up spider climb. Unless if you can throw up the spell.
I can throw up the spell.
It's basically the same as the spiders. You get the climbing speed.
Okay, so it doesn't have a restriction against magic. Therefore, I'll say roll an Arcana check to see if your character knows. Yeah, as long as it has similar physical properties to a wall, spider climb will work.
I'll throw fucking spider climb up myself, and I will start running up the wall towards the hole, and continue doing the thing that I wanted to do.
Okay, so as you begin to approach the hole, spider climb wears off and you fall. Because it's an anti-magic field, unfortunately.
Okay.
So it turns off your spider climb momentarily, just long enough for you to detach from the wall. But you do reattach to the wall lower. But you
Can I try
every time
to
you keep
use
trying to go towards the hole, you keep falling back down.
Yeah, so I would see this happening.
Am I too far away from the hole that I can't use acrobatics to try and like grab onto the ledge and like pull myself over?
You can try. That will require an acrobatics check. Alright, you manage to jump up towards the hole and grab the edge of the hole. And now you can try to climb up. Which you do. You do manage to climb up. So
okay. How far away from the tree with a rope am I now?
You are approximately, at this point, you are, the wall is exactly 30 feet away from the tree. So, yes, you are exactly 30 feet away. But as you begin to enter, you hear a voice. And it says, "Stop!" You don't know where the voice came from. You can try to identify it. No one else hears it except him.
So Arcana check on the voice, or
you can roll an Arcana check to see if it's magic, but you didn't see. Let me just see. Is spider climb concentration?
Actually, I don't think so. Because the duration is an hour or two, I think.
Well,
I don't think it's a
concentration up to an hour.
Yeah, concentration. Yeah. So
it is concentration.
Is detect magic concentration as well?
Yeah. Or actually, well, let me check.
I didn't cast detect magic as a ritual. I used a spell slot.
Yes, but if you need to concentrate on it, you can only concentrate on one thing at a time. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So if you cast spider climb, then you're
concentration up to 10 minutes. So
okay.
Both are concentration.
Yeah, so you can't see this, so you don't know if it's magical or not. So you can roll an Arcana check to see if it's magical.
I did 25.
Oh, okay. With a 25, you suspect that this is a physical voice. It's not being transported into your mind. It's not being projected magically, or else you might see a source somewhere. It just sounds like a physical voice.
Can I do an investigation to see if it was one of the muffled guards that yelled stop?
Okay, sure. Make an investigation check. They all have gags in, and they don't appear to be conscious.
In that case, I will fuck that voice, and I will start just jumping. I'll try to jump all the way to the guards with my sword in my hand, like, "For Sparta!" I'm just trying to cut the rope.
Alright. It is at this point that you are just far enough away from the anti-magic field that it can go, "Stop!" And this time it is magical. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Shit.
You stand still, as if someone told a dog not to move anymore. and it didn't.
Stay.
And it stood perfectly still and did nothing. You are standing perfectly still, doing nothing.
Can I at least like stand with a stupid expression on my face, slobbering?
Unfortunately, no. You
Oh.
are unable to do that. So, at this point, I'll let the rest of the group in on this. So, you guys see this happen. You see him running, you see him stop, and he looks around for a minute, and then he just starts charging forward, and then just goes lax and looks forward blankly and does nothing.
Man, this looks like magic, so I'm gonna move closer so it's within my orb.
Now you hear a physical voice, loud enough for you to hear.
But I'm stealthing. Does he see me?
He's saying it louder. That's what
Okay.
he's doing. He's not seeing you and therefore talking to you. He's saying it louder.
No, but does he see me? Why can I speak if he doesn't see me? Makes no sense.
He's talking to someone
Good
else
for you
that
guys,
he
though.
knows
Yes.
is there, perhaps.
I don't think that's possible.
Either way, he says, "No, I am simply a messenger." But only
you,
Howler
messenger.
hears this now. Explo, you hear it, but you feel no motivation to do anything. So
I still think, fuck you, messenger.
you feel no motivation to even think those words. Your head is blank.
Okay, I try to determine the source of this.
Okay.
I feel like Erosan.
Make an
Explo thinks to
investigation
himself.
check. Make an investigation check.
11. Actually, I guess 11 is fine. I don't want to waste my life.
You look around, and you do see something. However, it might not be what you're looking for. You see up in the tree that there's a weird shadow that probably shouldn't be there.
Okay.
Kill it.
Does it look like it noticed me?
It just looks like a spherical shadow, which is odd.
Kill it. Kill it. Slowly.
I moved so I'm
Unfortunately,
within
no one
50
rolled
feet
high
of
enough,
this
but now
bubble.
that he's closer, his DC was lower. So
I moved so I'm within 50 feet of this creature with my area.
okay. You move to be within 50 feet, and as you get close to Explo, he regains his thoughts. And you hear, "No! Stop! This is all I have!" And
Too bad,
you
bro.
see the sphere begin to dissolve, and you see a shadow creature just sort of sitting in the tree. It looks like a person.
I shoot it with a poisoned arrow.
Okay, perfect. You need to roll to hit.
Yeah. Hand crossbow. 22.
Do we all see it, or is it just those two?
Yeah, you guys see it now. You see that he is looking at something, and when you look in the direction where he's looking, you see this spherical black shape that just dissolves as it gets within range of his
My
anti-magic.
question is it surprised by me? I'm assuming it's not surprised because it knows we're coming, but...
It could sense that its magical field was being dissolved, which is why it was like, "No, stop!"
The left number's done, and I will shoot again. So I needed to make con save.
You don't need it right now.
Okay. 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 So it rolled a 16, and was it on the second one? The poison?
Yeah, I would assume so. So yeah,
Okay, the second one is 25 then.
not poisoned.
Alright. So it's taken damage. So the total is 42, is it?
The total is 42, yeah.
Okay. So it is not poisoned, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or not paralyzed, I mean.
Okay. It gets hit and it goes, listen to me! And that's all it says before it is now initiative time. So, go
Sure.
ahead. You
Remember
are...
to select your tokens.
And someone can
9.
control Lily for combat.
Do I roll initiative for myself and a blue slotty separately, or
Just keep
roll
him on
mine?
your turn, that's better.
On your turn is a lot easier, even if it says not to. And for this spell, I'm going to say that it acts on your turn. So just do that.
Alright, I got a 15.
Alright. So,
Oh wait, no, that wasn't me.
that was Lily.
Yeah, I rolled for Lily as well.
Okay.
Because you told me to, so.
Yeah, she's going to act in accordance with the rest of the group. So, if everybody's attacking this thing, she's going to attack it. Okay.
That is kind of cool. It was 17.2.
No, get out of the kitchen.
Well, it's because we have a dex score of 20, and I mean, like, it's not an official ruling that you use dex. A lot of DMs do it, so.
Yeah, you use your dex to determine who goes first, but that's okay. You guys can just roll to determine who goes first, or just decide who goes first. It doesn't matter. Because ultimately, it's
What, Gio?
probably not going to matter.
No, I can't
The
hear
guy
you.
who rolled first.
Let Howler do his thing.
Okay, so Howler's going to go first. That's what I heard.
Okay. So, this creature should at least be within 50 feet of me.
Yeah,
you're
it is
dead.
still within 50
Table.
feet of you.
Go to the table.
I'm just doing something here. Determining
Yeah,
what its dex should be. There we go.
well, it might go before me. And yeah, I think Timothy went before me, but you didn't select your token. I can fix that for you
Wow,
though.
it rolled super
Remember,
clever.
I can't select tokens.
Okay, let me see if I find your sheet.
So I should have a 21.
Yeah, you really need a picture for your token
That's okay.
eventually. 21.
Right now, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, 21.
There we go.
Okay. There we
If you
go.
start it again, Lucius is first.
Yeah. So the enemy is going to go last.
Which is a good sign.
Perhaps. So, Lucius, you see what's happening. However, your abomination hasn't returned from its flyabout, if you will. So, it is still a
Well, is this
decent...
right by the guards?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Your slatty is not by the guards because you told it to go around and fly to look.
Well, I thought it's a circle around the guards. Like, just around their immediate area.
Well, it couldn't get close enough.
Okay.
Obviously, because there was a force field in the way. So,
how
it's
many
at
rounds
least 50
before...
feet away.
Okay, then it will just take a double move to be in range for next round.
Alright.
And then I'm going to hit the person thing with a lightning bolt from the wand.
Okay.
Okay, so the regular level. So dex save.
Alright, dex save. I think I already rolled. No, it's Dex's one. Readjust that. 19.
Okay, so it's going to take half damage. So it takes 12 damage.
Perfect.
That was a crap roll.
It is now bloodied. Is that the end of your turn, by the way?
I'm gonna just move into a better, like, advantageous position.
Okay. So it is now Howler's turn.
Okay. So yeah, I want a bonus action dash, so I can get right behind this creature.
Okay.
Where is it? On the ground? Is it a tree? Or...
It's in the top of the tree.
Okay. So yeah, I have 40 feet to get over to the tree, and then I can dash to climb it.
Fair enough. You are up the tree. With that
and then
much
I'm
movement,
gonna,
I'm just going to give it to you.
And then I'm just gonna pull out my rapier, put it at its neck, and I'm gonna tell it, "You better leave your message while you still can."
Okay. So it has a weapon at its throat. Are you going to do anything else? It can't respond until it's its turn, unfortunately.
Okay, so it can't respond if I want to use my action.
Yeah, talking's a free action. You can talk at any time.
Yes, but the creature is not going to respond until its turn. Based on the nature of the question you're asking. Or based on the nature of what you're expecting it to respond with.
Okay.
That's
so
a subtle hint, but it might give away what it's trying to do. But
in that case, yeah, I guess I'll just fucking hit it, paralyze it.
okay.
So that's a ray. Or actually, I will tell it to stay down, and maybe I'll get a crit, which I didn't, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, you do hit it.
So 20 piercing, and then it needs to make a contact.
Okay, its con is... That's what the +7 was. It's con. Okay. 18.
Yeah, it succeeds.
Okay. Adosan.
Well, since I think Howler wants it rather alive than dead, hold an action, just aim at it, and it says, shoot it, it would die.
What?
If I were to shoot it, it would die.
Kill it.
To see what it says. You want to know what it says, right?
It's a shadow creature. The only thing they do
Yeah,
is
I let out.
manipulate
Yeah, let's
and
tear it
kill.
down. You can ready action shoot if it tries to move, for example, or you have to set
Tries
the terms
any-
for...
And
Alright.
well, that it, or to say that I can shoot it, then well,
You can... What he said was you can ready action for if it moves.
Or something else, like you said the
Yeah.
terms. But I think the problem was he lagged out, not that he didn't respond.
Okay.
what I said was if Howler says that he did have anything useful or that I can shoot.
Okay, so if I
okay.
say it's no use for this, you sure?
Yeah, so
That's
when you
fine,
say, I'm done, he's gonna shoot.
yeah, that's fair.
Okay. So it is Lily's turn. She's on the ground. She can't get close enough anyway. So the only thing to be determined on this turn is if she moves closer or not.
Yeah, sure, she'll dash.
Okay.
She's
Exploit.
there.
You are approximately 20 feet away from the guards.
For where I am I from the creature thingy majig?
40 feet, because it is up. So you're at a diagonal from it. 40 feet.
Kind of want to kill it.
Well, you can try. I mean, it's your turn.
No. Is the guards conscious?
No.
No.
Even with the anti-magic field, it appears that they are unconscious.
Unconscious. I'm gonna use a few of my bomb charges
Okay.
and make like a big like healing grenade, I guess.
A healing drop grenade thing?
Yeah, healing draw grenade thing. So when I just throw it at the guards, it will make a misty cloud of healing.
I'll allow it.
How many bomb charges?
Well,
Would you say
there's
that
5
would
of
take?
them. There's 5 of them. So, the mechanics of how the healing draught works is that only one person can take a healing draught, I think.
Like if a person
One
takes-
person can take a healing drug, and then I have to wait for a long rest until they can take another.
but
So
you
they
can
get
give
one
as many
healing
as you
drug
want.
per long rest.
Okay,
Per
so
person.
you have to use 1 bomb charge per person.
Per person. So 5 bomb charges, and I'm gonna throw 5. So that's basically 5 healing drugs straight at
I'll
Yeah.
allow it.
Misty Cloud of Healing.
So they do become conscious.
That's a lot of HP.
Yeah, they do heal. So that's great. Okay. Do you wish to do anything else with your turn?
That is the only thing I can do.
Okay. Perfect. The enemy, you have the anti-magic orb on your person, because if you didn't, then it wouldn't work. So, you have it out. And the creature points to the anti-magic field generator and says, "You are stopping me from sending the message."
Can I make an insight check?
Sure.
Because this makes sense to me. But okay. Can I also make an Arcana check to see if, like, the magicals, like, if that makes sense?
Sure. There are plenty of ways of sending magical messages.
Yeah.
Considering you can do it.
Yeah. So I will agree, but we're tying you to fuck up, I tell him.
And he goes, "Fine."
So I motion down to the bottom of this tree, and I hand him my rope. Or my jawbone crossbow, I guess. Because that's what my rope is.
So you're not gonna ask him who's the who's the message for?
Not yet, let's tie him up first. Then we can ask him whatever we want.
And then he's gonna send a message to the big bad guy, and we're all gonna die.
Well, you're gonna die, I'm gonna hide.
Yeah, based on your inside check, you're not sure if he's telling the truth or not.
Yeah, which is why I'm being skeptical, so I want
That's
to tie
fine.
him
That's
up.
fine. That's fine.
So
I
do
just
we
wanted to
keep
make sure that
initiative,
was
or
official.
do we need keep initiative, or is it out of initiative now? It's not killing him.
Unless anybody else wants to kill it.
I say we can drop out of initiative.
The only person I think who... Well, maybe Lucius wants to kill it.
I'm just gonna order my blue slotty like when it gets to the ground to be ready to basically attack it at any sign of aggression.
Explo was going to kill it, but the problem was that Howler was too close, and he might kill his or hurt his business partner, which is bad for business.
Alright, so you guys start climbing down the tree. Technically, you can just jump down to the bottom of the tree. It's not 10 feet high, so you can just jump down.
I'm gonna use my grower to cut the guards loose.
Well, you can't currently, I assume.
The guards can be cut loose. They get cut loose.
I was just thinking about the grower, like it's super tiny now.
It's still, he can still cut with it, regardless of if it's tiny or not.
So I can't scream Bazinga and it will grow?
No, basically, as long as I have this active, anything within 50 feet as magical just doesn't work.
How many feet?
50.
Oh.
50.
That sucks. You suck.
Let me just say that I invented this item so they could defeat a boss, and then they didn't defeat the boss.
Well, that was the boss's fault. Like, you should have been patient, not called in the reinforcements.
Either way. The point is that they now have this item, and it is getting in the way of a lot of stuff that I try to do, but I'm allowing it for now.
Well, just make up some stuff like, oh, it just got destroyed because you used it too much. It overheated and exploded and killed you.
I could make that, but
because I am DM, so I'm basically a god.
There's actually a point to having it still that perhaps you guys might want to go into, so I want it to still be there. Okay, so you guys bring him down to the bottom of the tree. And
tie him up, and then, like, if this monster could grab him as well as he's being tied up in case he tries to do anything.
Okay. He allows for himself to be grabbed.
And then I, speak your message quick. But first, who is it from?
I can tell you who it's from, but I cannot give you the message through words.
Who is it from?
Our leader.
Ooh.
The Shadowed One.
Ooh, he sounds really gay.
There's so many of those of the shadow people. You have to make up your mind.
He says, I would show you if my hands weren't bound. The only reason I took these guards was to protect myself, but it appears that doesn't matter anymore.
Well,
yeah.
I would have been a bodybuilder if I were a fucking barbarian, but you know, shit happens.
He says, I am at your mercy. You can either destroy the message or allow it to be shown.
Explo says fuck it, and he kind of just like goes into the rope and grabs the guy's hands and pull them out of the rope and just slap the hands on his head.
Okay. Okay. Well, his hands are now free, and he conjures up an illusion quickly, and you see a familiar face. The face that appears on all the shadow creatures when they are taken over.
Is it Tinky Winky?
Not again.
Hello.
He says, this is who the message is from. The Shadowed One.
Well, he doesn't stand a chance. So what's your message?
This asshole again.
So he makes the illusion go away, and he says, in order to convey this message, I must touch you.
Well, I just said I did that. I slapped his hands on my forehead.
Oh.
Or whatever.
So Explo gets the message.
Or
He
get
has
killed.
to be trying to send the message.
I get the message. I get the message, or I get
I
killed.
step back. Explo
Potato,
gets
potato.
Okay, so he has to be trying to send the message, and he has to be touching you.
Okay, so, well, there's Explo. Give him the message.
He reaches over to Explo, touches him on the forehead. Explo, are you willing to receive the message, or are you going to resist the message?
I am willing to receive the message from the big asshole. Big,
Alright, you fall to
shadowy
the
asshole.
ground unconscious.
Cool.
Alright, and he begins walking towards the next person who's closest. Does anybody stop him?
I tell you, that's enough. Explo can have the message.
He doesn't listen to what you're saying and tries to grab your head. Do you resist?
I turn on the anti-magic orb as soon as it starts approaching me.
Okay. So, Explo, you get back up.
And I pull out my rapier and I tell him, sit back down again. I'll go cut your head off.
He says,
So for some mysterious reason, we all have to be unconscious near a shadow creature to get the message. I say, kill it. Kill it with fire.
That is the literal thing. So he goes back, and he sits back down. He says, fine, destroy the message.
Why
we gonna
can't you
destroy
just give the message
alright?
to one person to share with the rest of us?
There are 5 messages, one for each of you.
Fine.
And do
Give
one at
Explo
a
his,
time.
and he gets
Do
up,
it
you
one at a
give the
time,
next
you
one,
idiot.
And then, yeah. One at a time. We're not going to have you incapacitate all of us.
If I cannot send it
Moron.
to each of you at once, it will not work. So
Of course
destroy
they
the
won't.
Any
message.
sense?
Kill it.
That doesn't make any sense, man. There's
Yeah,
no
Howler
reason
is
for
not
us to trust
accepting
you
this.
to incapacitate every single one of us.
Then
I want to
destroy
actually do
the
an Arcana
message.
check. I want to do an Arcana check to see if that's actually like accurate.
Okay, go ahead.
17.
I'm proficient in Arcana. Can I try and help him to determine this?
Sure.
So roll again, Tim.
27.
There is an obscure instance where this is the case. It is if you are to have a shared dream.
Okay. Well, first of all, we're not doing it here, and you'll be heavily monitored if that's the case.
We're going on a trip in a little rocket ship, swimming through the... No? Nobody?
So,
No?
basically, I'm assuming you're sharing this, Lucius, right? We're talking about
Yes.
it probably?
Yeah.
So my idea is that if, and I'm saying if, we wish to have this message, because I have experienced these dreams before, then I suggest we take him and tie him up, bring him back to the temple, and lock him up, guard him, and have our allies guard us while we're gone.
Okay. That's the only way that I would be willing to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll then ask the group, like, what's the consensus? What do you guys want to do? Because I'm not against just killing him, but if you want the message, then that's the only way I'll accept it. Geo,
I'm for seeing what he has to say, but only.
I'm on board with that.
So
How
Geo,
about Edo-san?
I can get the tea here, and well,
good.
Yeah, sure.
We'll need any strong-armed body we can have.
Well, we got my polar bear. DT and my polar bear.
Also, let's torture him a bit first, just to make sure he's, like, if he tries anything, they'll kill him.
You mean we're gonna just do it for fun, right?
Mage hand, 2 fingers, right in the stinker.
Well, I'm basically saying, let's put him to near death, so that if he does any trouble, like, they'll stop it.
I'll just let you know that your characters do know he is bloodied.
Okay. Oh, okay, then it's not that tough.
I'm going to. Do they have to ingest healing potions, or can I throw a healing potion on somebody?
The only reason I allowed him to create a mist is because he can create different types of bombs, and I just let that slide.
And I'm
So-
awesome.
So I have to shove it down his throat.
Yes.
That could be a form of punishment all itself.
Which is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put an acid grenade in his mouth. Non-lethal damage.
Okay.
If he fails the...
That's not how that works.
That's. Well,
It doesn't work with non-lethal, but that was cute.
look, are your grenades like made magically, or are they like actual bombs?
I
Well,
have a problem to bring to you all. He
Ta-da.
falls unconscious.
well, he's not dead.
Because he's unable
So that's
to
a
dodge.
thing.
He's unable to dodge, so he takes full damage, no matter what.
Well, the question is, well, I guess that's fine.
And
Well, he
you
took
did
non-lethal.
over his health.
But he did say non-lethal, so he's alive. We'll drag his ass back to the temple.
He's alive.
However, you notice... No, that's fine. You drag him back. Because I did establish something that nixes what I was about to say, so that's fine.
Are the guards all up, or are they still down?
The guards
They're all
are
up.
recovered. Since he cut them loose, then yes, they're fine. They're not fully recovered because they healed some of their health, but not all of their health. But you can you can leave that go, or you can try to heal them more. That's up to you.
I mean, I have like 50-something healing potions, so...
You can, or you can try to save those for later. That's up to you.
Well, I have 51 unidentified potions. I can just hand them out. I have no fucking clue what they do.
Yeah, and then
That's
one drinks
okay,
one,
they're
and then they die.
Yeah. Here. Drink this, grow strong, and it just turns into a pile of ash.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you drag him back. And I'll say that the guards are unhealed unless if you specifically want to heal them more. But they're recovered enough so that way they can walk around and do things.
No.
Okay. Those guards go back to their posts. Wherever those were.
So I'm saying if we get the ET, or TE, or whatever his name
The
is.
letter D and the letter T.
DT. So DT, Polar Bear, and the Naga, and the
And my hook car, and I
giant
whistle for
thingy.
it. I'm not
What?
a giant.
No.
As well as my blue slotty abomination.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a bunch of guards.
You try to say
Like
it
our
like
top
that.
tier guards too, guys. I like what we're doing here. We didn't like, well, let's go gather up more of our like town guard. No, we went for the special guys. Good job. I hope they murder the fuck out of them.
We went for the fucking SEAL team, boy.
SEAL Team 7.
Alright. So, you walk into wherever you want to go. So you have a specific prison area that you can try to do this in. If you want.
Yeah, I mean, we should do it in a magical prison and then, like, have the creature not be able to leave.
Yeah, I like it. That's what I was thinking too. We might be able to stick him in an arcane battery.
And he can power for us.
Outdoors, yeah.
There's only perhaps one problem that I can think of. He has to touch you. So then you would have to be in the arcane battery too. Otherwise it wouldn't
Can
work.
No,
he-
you don't get it.
We can
He
leave.
touches
Can he
all of us, and then
take
our
his
guard
hands
takes them
through
and
the
throws them
bars?
into the arcane battery.
Yes, he'll do it in the hallway and then they'll try. Because he can't be touching us the whole way, it's just immediately, right?
Yeah, he can touch you. And then there's the second problem that I just thought of. Arcane batteries siphon magic.
Okay, so keep him near, and if anything... How about that?
Oh, you cut out a little bit, so I didn't hear
Yeah.
part of it.
They'll just
Keep
hold
him
him
there,
out.
and how about that?
Yeah, then keep him there, and if he tries anything funny, it'll throw him in and then shank him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
A
Fine.
classic prison
So you're
shanking.
standing in the middle, like there's like 5 people in a line in this hallway that isn't big enough for them all to stand next to each other side by side. And but your group is sort of gathered together. It's just that the other people that you've gathered are slightly bigger than you, so they can't all stand next to each other. But you're sort of gathered
Fine.
around him.
They'll figure it out.
Also, I will get someone smart that's not like our robots and stuff, and I'll get, for example, I will get Gare and I'll give him the anti-magic orb, and I'll like tell him what to do if, like how to press it if anything should go wrong.
Mhm.
That should wake us up.
Okay. So, here's what's going to happen. He's going to be let loose because he needs
Wow.
his hands.
Yeah, sort of let loose.
He's in a hallway where there's 5 things that could kill him in one hit, probably. Considering you probably only gave him minimum HP back.
Yeah, like
So,
not even one, like a half. Half
So-
of it.
he would have
1/3,
to run
actually.
past all of them to get out of this situation. So, or get past them in some other way, other than running. Just leaving that option open.
Which is why we have a rogue that's ready with anti-magic.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's fair.
Evans.
That's fair. If he starts casting a magic spell that is untoward, then yes. But either way, he needs to get past like 6 or 7 people. I'm not sure how many people you have in this hallway at this point.
Too many.
So, yes, he has 1 HP because that's the lowest amount of HP he can have, unfortunately. So he can't have half an HP.
Damn it.
But can we do the vision next time? Like we can set up and stuff. But because it's 2 a.m. now and I have to do something tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to get to
too.
the beginning of what you guys are going to be doing, just so that way we have something to start on. So, he walks over and he touches. Who's first? Who wants to go first? Just so that way I can thematically describe this as each person
I'll be
goes.
after Explo.
Okay. Is Explo going first?
Sure.
Yeah, he raised his hand.
Alright. Explo, he grabs your head, you go unconscious. Lucius, he grabs your head, you go unconscious.
Right before he does,
Okay.
I do tell him, if you try anything funny, my slotty just might skull fuck you to death.
And he just touches you, he doesn't care.
1,000 years of pain!
He just touches you and then you go unconscious. So who's next? Edo-san or... Because Lily's gonna go last.
Okay. Sure.
I'm okay.
Alright. He grabs Edo-san. Edo-san, you go unconscious. Howler, he grabs your head, you go unconscious. And then he grabs Lily's head. But that isn't seen by anybody who's currently a player. So, here's what happens. Howler, you are suddenly standing in the middle of what appears to be a large open field.
That is demon, isn't it?
You're
Do I have a package here?
sort of
Package got delivered.
you can see Palazzo della Montagna background, and you see some of the other towns in the sprawling grasslands of the waving plains.
Alright, so I kind of just shrug and yell out, so where are you? Okay, green dye, take it.
Alright? And you start to see that the sky grows red and shifts slowly. Now we switch to the next person. Okay. Edo-san, you are in what appears to be an open rocky area. with steam vents all around you, just puffing out white smoke and water, as you're just sort of standing in this area that has steam vents all over the place. And you see what looks like a large, perhaps mage tower in the distance.
Watching the tower, I guess.
Alright, and as you begin to approach the tower, the sky shifts to red. Slowly. That's yours. Explo. You are on top of a mountain in a series of mountains. And you can see what looks like a large tundra in front of you.
Start walking towards the tundra.
Alright, you start walking down the
And
side
as
of the
I
mountain.
do, the sky turns blue!
No. It turns red,
Hello?
unfortunately.
Oh.
Well, good thing I'm colorblind.
Good thing I'm colorblind. It turns gray!
It turns a slightly different shade of gray, because that's all I can see. Either way. Lucius, you are standing at what looks like a... perhaps... you're standing on the shoreline, and there are 3 different biomes nearby you. There's one that appears... Yeah, biomes. If you're familiar with anything that has different... like...
Areas.
Yeah, like
Like from
weather
a desert
patterns and
to-
things of that nature.
Okay.
Let's go full on Minecraft.
Yes, one is kind of like a swampy area, which seems to be heading north.
Okay.
The one in front of you appears to be, I'm pretty sure it's stone. Yes, it is. So you see these rocks colliding with flames and causing explosions. And you also see an area that has mushrooms and bioluminescence and is supernaturally dark compared to the other 2 areas.
Okay. Excuse me. And that's where it stays? Like, that's where it's gonna end?
You can try to approach one of the 3 areas if you wish, since everyone else is doing that, it seems.
And then the sky is gonna turn purple.
Alright, so I have a swamp.
Yep.
What else? Sorry.
An area that seems like a wasteland of fire and earth colliding and causing explosions constantly.
So an elemental flash.
Yes, an elemental clash. And you also see an area where there's bioluminescence and mushrooms and things of that nature. And it seems supernaturally dark.
Come on, dude. You should go towards the swamp. Try and find Shrek.
No, I'm thinking my guy would either be drawn to the fire and earth or the mushroom darkness. Mushroom darkness.
Alright. You head towards the shroom darkness. And even though it's supernaturally dark, there's a tinge of red in the air. And that is where we're going to leave.
And you hear in the distance, "Get out of my swamp!"